right, guys, we've got Dr. Berg, Eric Berg in the house. I'm so excited. We're going to have a nice, lovely conversation, and you'll find out what it is right now. All right, guys, as you can see right here, we have now Dr. Eric Berg. He cannot see, but you guys can see him and me on a screen. So we are here today for this amazing coming together of two great people, of course. But before we actually get started, I want to say this, Eric. I want to apologize, and I want everybody else out there to hear that I've been somewhat critical of Dr. Eric Berg. And what I want everyone to understand is that I'm evolving on the internet, and I think it's time to go through a personal growth of respecting people and their hard work. And after speaking with you, Eric, on the phone, I just felt so dumb, because you're such an awesome person. So right now, first I want to just introduce Dr. Eric Berg. This way.
Hey everyone. Hope you're doing great.
Yeah. So we're here. We're going to have a conversation. We are going to discuss our different sort of perspectives on intermittent fasting, or why we feel the way that we do. And I didn't want the debate. So you guys, if anybody is wanting that type of debate, you're not going to get it here at all. And again, I want to stress very clearly that Dr. Eric Berg has been around longer than I have. In fact, I saw his videos when I first started going online years ago, when he was talking about the adrenal body. So even way back in the day, he was really trying to tap into people's health. So can you give us a little, I would really love to know your thoughts on your evolution of bringing health to the public, because I don't think anybody's ever heard that backstory. Mm-hmm. Eric, when you started those videos a long time ago when I saw you, and to what you're doing now, can you kind of give us some context and let us know what's been going on and what's in your mind as time has evolved?
Well, before I get into that, I just wanted to say that I remember your early videos with in your living room. You were doing these videos, and I remember you said something like, "Wow, I have these old injuries," and because I used to specialize in that, I was like, one of these days, I'm going to show her how to get rid of that, because there's some great techniques. So we'll cover that a little bit later.
Definitely.
But I got into this because I was very, very, very sick. I was the sickest patient that I've never had a sicker patient than myself. I had the worst health. I had chronic fatigue syndrome. Here, these people would be coming in with these pains and different issues, and I'm like, if you had any idea how, that's nothing compared to my body problems. So, I had when I was in my late 20s, I had arthritis all down my spine, my hands. I had severe hypoglycemia to the point of the inside of my eyelids were bloodshot. I was slightly moody. You can ask my wife. It was just really bad. I couldn't sleep. So that went on for years and years until I started to stumble on some books and learn about the right type of eating, and then low carbs. And then it was like someone took a helmet off my head, like, wow, I can actually think and feel better. So it was a huge evolution, and I got really interested in nutrition when I'm in my 30s, so I'm about 55 right now. So I've been just kind of diving into it, obsessively studying it for a long time. And I started training doctors back then, trained like 2,500 doctors in these methods. They would fly out, I would do seminars. So then YouTube came out, and I always told my wife, I said, boy, if I could actually show people what we do here and put it on a video, I think they would like it. So I think I did one video every 2 months, and I thought that was a lot, excessive. Yeah. So, I just started doing more videos in my living room with my little flip phone, and then I started, back then you can get a lot of views just by putting one video out. And then And then I said, I'm going to put out one video out a week, and then it went to 3 times a week, and then once a day. Now it's at 2 times a day. So it's a lot of work. So I had to choose, like, do I stay in practice or do I do YouTube videos? Because it's an all-day activity. I'm up at probably 4, studying until probably 12, preparing for videos that I'm going to do. So I'll record the videos, and it's what I love doing. I love to teach people, and I also love to study it. So it's that's what I do full time now.
And that's what we discussed on the phone, right? That you actually sit and research today, because you have grown so much over the years. People might not realize that you actually go and start learning and reading and researching your own material.
It's a constant pulling of string, diving into buying these very, very expensive textbooks that take a while to get through, and then you find these little pieces of gold, and then you go, "Wow, man! I just have to tell people about this." And I'm preparing now for a summit I'll be going to this weekend, but it's kind of, I'm so far into it that sometimes, like my wife just said the other day, like, I'm so glad that you're interested in that, because I don't think anyone else is. But I think I like to teach people that what I'm interested in, but there's always someone that's interested. So if you watch my videos, I kind of go all the way lateral over this way and all the way to this side. So I kind of talk about a lot of different stuff that I'm interested in. So on some videos, some people might not be interested in the mitochondria or the different chemical reactions that occur, but it's something that I'm into.
Definitely. I mean, I was looking at your catalog recently to prepare to speak to you today, and I mean, you literally cover every subject. Like, there's so many different, facets of health. It's not just like, one area that people might assume. So a lot of people find me through keto. They've found you through keto, but you do everything. It's like all kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I did a video on if you have a laryngitis. There's a great technique. I used to do it in my practice all the time. I'd have opera singers come to my office, like fly in from a university, if they're a teacher or an opera singer somewhere else, and do the technique. And started working with this guy from Juilliard, who is the coach up there, and I worked on him, and then he sent his people. But then I said, I'm going to do a video on it. And I think I have like 600,000 or 800,000 views, but these are all musicians and singers that use their voice, and they're like, oh my gosh, I tried this, it worked. So I just like to share this data. I don't think there should be any type of monopoly on knowledge. I think if you have it, you should share it.
I agree. Okay, so can you kind of walk us to when you started doing more videos about doing low carb, doing keto, and then your evolution from there? Because you're obviously having an event very soon, so it's kind of a good segue to go into how you've moved into the world of low carb and keto and intermittent fasting, dare I say. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I wrote this book probably 15 years ago, and at that time I was, trying different things, and I was recommending snacking and fruit and apples and all. I'm like, okay, it was working at some point, for certain people, but I wasn't getting the results. And then I started to, I looked at this fasting thing. I'm like, what is this fasting thing? I'm like, that's so basic. I mean, that's not going to do anything, And it kept coming up. I'm like, well, fasting, that doesn't make sense. I mean, when I fast, I'm starving. I have to eat every 3 hours, because of my blood sugar. So, and then I started looking at it, I'm like, okay. And then I actually did it for a while, and I actually did feel better. And then now I can go long periods of time without hunger. So it really helped me personally. So I started diving into it, but it's interesting because I evolved from doing the whole, actually started out low fat, then low carb, and high protein, and then moderate protein, and then got rid of the snacks and the fruit. And so it's evolved. And presently my whole thing is to do keto healthily. with nutrient dense foods. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different types of keto now. There's a lot of different similar diets that are out there. And you know what? My whole thing is whatever works for you, do it. I'm not trying to push everyone on a certain diet.
Exactly.
But I have an advantage from a lot of people, especially like with my Facebook lab. It's called Keto Lab. And it's like I have 300,000 people, and I can test a lot of stuff really quick. I can put like 3,000 people on a certain thing, and you guys do this for a week, and then you guys do that. And then I just get all the data and I go, that's interesting. Look at this. So not everyone does well on, like for example, if you have gut issues and you load up someone with a bunch of fiber, you're going to tear them up. They're going to bloat. But they probably do better on a carnivore diet. So, but my whole thought on fasting is that it has some really health beneficial mechanisms related to autophagy. Also, one of the cool things I like about it is that it cleans up damaged mitochondria, those things that can turn into cancer. So it's my interest in what it could do for cancer is fascinating. Now, there's still a lot more to do, but it's weird. It's very weird that you would stop eating and all of a sudden you would have certain genes kick in that are pro-survival. That's like bizarre to me, but especially with your brain, you start thinking better, that type of thing. But there's always exceptions to the rule. And so you tell me what's your thought on fasting?
Yeah, I think when fasting really started to hit its popularity, probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, I was very concerned. And in my whole journey of being a keto coach, or whatever weird terms, but some of my first clients had some health issues, and I wasn't aware of things like electrolyte imbalance. And one woman's husband had to go to the hospital because he was so dehydrated. So from that moment on, I became the hardcore stickler. And because I get so many people in my age demographic, that I get a lot of women especially wanting to lose weight. And they're trying to use fasting, the ketogenic diet, for weight loss. And when I do these consultations, I'm like, let's take this conversation of weight loss off the table. Let's figure out what's going on with you metabolically first. Because if you've got blood sugar issues, insulin issues, thyroid issues, adrenal issues, sleep issues, inflammatory situations going on with your body, then let's talk about that first, because your body's not going to want to just drop the fat and hold the muscle if you're going through any type of inflammation or any type of hormonal issues. So I've said to people, you can fast all you want, but I don't like the first concept of weight loss. I don't think anyone that has spoken about intermittent fasting with me in consultations has ever mentioned autophagy. They talk about weight loss. And so when I started doing my videos, I just put the kibosh on the subject. I put the hammer down really hard. And the problem is that I notice people are having a lot of hypoglycemia with whatever version of fasting they think, or one meal a day, is appropriate for them. And then their hair starts falling out. Then they're starting to have thyroid symptoms, and then the menstrual cycle issues, and the crepey skin, and all of these things that are coming. I can't sleep. So this is the reason why I am against the hype and trend of fasting. I don't think that people are doing it properly. So what I say very simply to people is, try to rest. Don't go out and fast and work out and go to your jobs and go take your kids to ballet later at night. Forget to eat and start binging at food, because that's what ends up happening. So that's my thought on it. I'd rather have people focus on healing their issues. And if you have hypoglycemia, the last thing I'm going to do is have you not eat, because they're not eating because they want to lose weight.
Right. I think what you're saying, just tell me if I'm correct, is that you want to get healthy first. You want to get the person healthy. And that's what I also recommend. It's like, get healthy first, then lose weight, versus trying to lose weight and get healthy.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you take a look at just even the dieting, if you take a look at anyone who's in menopause and you ask them, do you have a history of dieting growing up? And they're like, yes, yes, yes. In fact, every time I tried it, my metabolism got slower and slower and slower and slower. So dieting actually ruins your metabolism. So if you get the person healthy, forget the weight loss, because they're probably, menopause women, they're coming in with a lot of atrophy. It looks like fat. They have fat, but they also have atrophy. And so the muscle loss, they're not going to necessarily always see weight loss. And so they're going to get frustrated. If their focus is on weight loss and then they don't lose weight, they're like, it's not working, when it probably was, because they're feeling energetic, their skin's looking better. So I agree. It's like health first. If you're going to, because even my wife, Karen, she's 50, she's going to be actually 57, if I'm not mistaken. She basically had a blood sugar issue really bad. And so we put her on fasting, and oh my gosh, like there were some reactions. It created some stress. Now she eventually got through it. But the point is that if you just dive in there just crazy, like, oh, I'm going to do one meal every other day or whatever, or one every day, and then especially if the meal is not healthy, like you're just focused on weight loss, you are going to literally destroy your metabolism.
You are. I mean, but the thing is, I would really like you to cover the benefits of it, because the point is to have a conversation, right? And you're a very knowledgeable person. So with my experience, I'm very concerned about people's health and their mental health. So, right. But there are benefits to it. And I did a interview also with Mike Mutzel, and he's very much into fasting, and I love him. We got through, the conversation was great, and I got to hear his sort of understanding or theories of fasting, and I would like to hear it from you, and especially the things that you feel are very beneficial. And of course, I'd like to dive into the keto part of it, because that's a big part of what I do. But yeah, can you tell me some of the things that you feel are beneficial? Because it doesn't really matter what I think, because we're having two different, maybe I can learn something from you. So right. I'd love to hear your perspective.
Well, I think the best way to do fasting is just to let your body tell you when to fast, because it's all about, okay, so let's see how long you can go with before you start getting hungry. Like getting really in tune with your body. People say, well, I don't know when I'm hungry. Well, it's a perception. If you just take a look at it, you can differentiate between cold and hot, hungry and full. You just have to kind of just really sense that, because you have actually an average person everyone has 52 perceptions. So you're just sensing these different things in the environment, and you're going, okay, am I hungry? Okay, no, I can go longer. So let your body tell you when you're ready to eat. Let's say you have a little grumbling in your stomach, but it's not really, you don't feel weak. You feel good. Okay, just ride the wave, go a little bit longer. But if you start feeling like, I'm feeling irritable, I'm feeling tired, good, eat. It's time to eat. So what you do is I start people out with 3 meals a day, no snack. I make sure their fat is high enough so they have some ability to go from one meal to the next. The problem is that the snacking is the worst. So every time you eat, you spike insulin. So now we got this, not only do we have the carb influence of insulin, but we have the consumption of food that triggers insulin. That is bad. So if we're trying to handle even hypoglycemia, think about what's pushing that blood sugar down. It's high insulin. Mm-hmm. If you measure the fasting insulin test, or it's a test called HOMA-IR, you will find that person, especially if they're hypoglycemic, they have high insulin. So if you, on a nice gradual level, start to just see how far they can go before they have to eat again. We do it gradual over time. It's painless. And there's some other ninja things that I'll recommend in a bit to make the process smooth. But let me just tell you, the biggest benefit would be for your immune system, for inflammation, for people with chronic inflammatory conditions, especially autoimmune. Now, vitamin D is like a no-brainer. That will drop inflammation. But if you add the fasting, you can really pull the inflammation out, so you don't have all these complications now. Now you can actually reduce the symptoms. I mean, if you have, let's say you have any autoimmune disease and you get rid of inflammation, I mean, that's like 80% of the symptoms for autoimmune. It's like collateral damage because you have this self-attack. So, so you have inflammation, you have improved cognitive function, memory. Now, at first, if you do it wrong, you're going to hypoglycemic. You're going to feel real funky and irritable, and your vision will be bad. But even with myself, I'm getting some feedback, so it's kind of weird.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
We
I
apologize.
went to this. No problem. I actually noticed that I started needing glasses. I don't see if I even have my glasses. I don't really need them. I'm like, what's going on? I need glasses. This is weird. Now I actually do a lot of reading and stuff, so that could be the problem. But so then I just said, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit long with fasting. So I went 21 hours, right? Mm-hmm. Bam. I was like, I could see. I'm like, let's go. Like, I don't even need glasses anymore. It was very fascinating. So I did a video on it, and I was like, notice a whole bunch of other people are actually, their vision's better from that. I'm like, well, that's cool. That makes sense because you're cleaning up old proteins that could be like the, those glycated proteins in your vision. And then there's two things that happen to the brain. One is you have improved cognitive function, but also you have an elevation of your mood, which is huge. You can take someone from being in anxiety, bring them up, or from depression. And so that's a huge benefit right there. So you put the person in a deeper state of ketosis if you're doing both. But, I also agree that I'm a big proponent to nutrition while you're fasting, just because I've had people fast and actually pass out. Okay, well, that's not good. You can hit your head on something because they jumped into it too long, and all of a sudden they needed some electrolytes or salt. They needed sea salt. That was the main thing. Because you're dumping all this water when you're losing weight or whatever, and then you don't replace the electrolytes, you're messed up. But I'm also really, really adamant about people taking potassium because out of all the nutrients, that's the one you need a lot of. And if you ever look at the foods that have potassium and you count up the milligrams, you're going to be pretty shocked to find out, like, I'm not even close to what I should be getting.
No.
But here's the interesting, you have these little pumps in your cells. They're like sodium potassium pumps that generate a lot of electricity in the cell that feed the muscle and the nervous system. In fact, they actually recruit 30% of all your energy. So if the person has keto fatigue, take a little potassium, boom, goes right away. Or you start eating foods with high in potassium, avocados, But you can be a carnivore and do it, but you'd have to eat a lot of the certain things. You'd have to know what you're doing. So the thing is that you can handle any side effect that happens with intermittent fasting, keto, if you know what nutrients are connected with that, and you do it at a gradient level. So that's the long version.
Yeah, no. It's. I wanted to know your thoughts on the subject and what you had experienced. What do you say? Because I get a lot of people who start to develop low T3 fasting. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're doing it wrong? Like you said, in a gradient fashion. What does that actually mean? Because, like I said, people are like, they dive all in. Yeah. And they don't look at their existing health to see there is no gradient. So what would be that to you? Like, what would be a gradient? Like I said, there's nothing wrong with fasting if it's done a specific way.
Right. That's a good point you brought up, because I do want to talk about that. Yes, some people will notice that they have a lowered T3. But I've never seen a lowered thyroid stimulating hormone. So the pituitary hormone that comes down to the thyroid, I never see that drop at all. And that's how you diagnose hypothyroidism. So why would you have a normal thyroid stimulating hormone yet an abnormal or slightly low T3? I think really the reason for that is that your metabolism is becoming way more efficient. It takes a lot of energy to burn glucose. when you burn ketones, you're getting more ketones per volume of fuel. It's becoming more, the motor is becoming more efficient. You're going to need less of the thyroid. So I think the normal levels might be on the high side, when they put those out there, because I notice people feel fine even if their thyroid is low. So where people come into problems if they have a low calorie, or let's say they're fasting once a day or something, they're eating once a day, and then they have low nutrient foods and they're deficient in nutrients, that's when the thyroid could suffer. So the thyroid needs selenium, because 90% of all thyroid problems is autoimmune. It's a Hashimoto's type. Mm-hmm. So selenium, hands down, is like the best thing you could take, and you need to take a good amount of it, even more than iodine. But zinc is very important for the thyroid. So these trace minerals are vital. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're getting your nutrients, I think for most people they're going to be okay. But that's my viewpoint on it.
Okay, cool. I think where I hit some concern is also symptoms, and also people not understanding how much zinc, how much iodine, how much selenium, how much vitamin D, how much vitamin C. They don't really know. And I think that also is something that maybe we can help bring to the public understand, because I think you are right. I think that having really nutrient-dense foods is such a part of any new diet, because people try to cheat their way into a bunch of keto junk food products that are low in nutrient value, and then they might fast on top of that, and then their macros might be incorrect, and then they start running into these problems. So that would be very interesting if we got people to really eat more whole foods while trying to do these new sort of, dietary measures that are beneficial.
Yeah, and I think if we take a look at the foods that are the highest nutrient-dense foods, especially in the area of trace minerals, it's shellfish. Shellfish is just smokes anything. Now, you can do liver as well, but shellfish, seafood, huge. So you can get mass amounts of selenium, zinc, copper in all the right ratios. So, because if you actually get a zinc tablet and you start taking that chronically, you're going to knock out copper. So you're right. You need to know what you're doing, unless you take maybe a blend of some naturally occurring blend of minerals of some sort, or have some coach that knows what they're doing or what they're talking about. Vitamin C. I don't know what your viewpoint is, honestly, recently on vegetables, but and I'm sure we can talk about that. But you can get more vitamin C from sauerkraut than anything else. It's huge, fermented foods. Also greens, bell peppers, things like that. So, I think that if you switch up your foods occasionally, and you're not eating the same thing every single day, and you're going to get a lot of the vitamins. Your body actually makes a good amount, a ton of B vitamins, all the B vitamins, including B12, folate, biotin. But here's the thing: if you have either a lack of flora in your gut, which a lot of people have, or gut damage, you're not going to actually they're not going to be absorbed, or you're not going to make them.
Exactly.
So that could be another reason why you're suffering from skin issues or psoriasis or some type of eczema or something like that. You're not absorbing it. So I think that, you really have to, is it the diet or is it your gut? What is it?
I think that you're right. I think that your existing health is a big issue that people need to think about, because a lot of people are mentioning it in the chat, like sauerkraut, like the histamine thing. So I did carnivore for almost a year, and the only thing now I add avocado for the potassium. But a lot of people have histamine issues, a lot more than I realized. And so things like the sauerkraut doesn't work, or the shellfish doesn't work. and also the oxalates that are in food seem to be a problem. And the chat is asking about that because you are or have been a proponent of a certain amount of vegetables per day and cruciferous in people with thyroid or people with histamine. So what do you think about these issues with the plants and people with leaky gut, histamine?
Yeah, I think if there's a problem, the I want to first talk about the oxalates because, you go in keto and what do the people eat? They're going to have spinach. They're going to have almonds. They're going to have chocolate, even though it's like sugar-free. That has the most oxalates. So now all of a sudden if you're at risk for stones, that can be a problem, kidney stones. So I'm weighing out like, okay, so you can obviously, if you're a stone former, you need to avoid those foods for sure. But generally speaking, if you take a larger group of people, I find that I'm not seeing the massive reactions by consuming vegetables. Now, I do see a lot of people if they eat too much spinach and things like that, but if you mix it up and have really wild grains and things, I'm seeing a lot of good things. Not for everyone, though. I've had patients who just like, you put them on that and they blow up like a balloon. So I would just test it out. If you do good, great. I feel certain populations they thrive on that and they do really good. But I think they need a balance, though, of how much they can tolerate. Personally, I can do a massive amount. Other people, they can do a smaller amount. So it does feed the gut, but if you have gut damage, it could irritate you because of the oxalates. You have a lot of different plant chemicals that can irritate your gut. So, but honestly, I'm not seeing the majority of people reacting to vegetables. I would say it's 20%. And that's just my opinion. But I say, you know what? Test it out. I do want people to get more vitamin C and potassium and magnesium, because let me just ask you, if we need 4,700 milligrams of potassium, like 4.7 grams, and we need about almost 500 milligrams of magnesium, what foods can someone eat to get those two that are not vegetable?
They can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. They have to do it in a supplemental fashion.
Right.
Like potassium citrate or magnesium glycinate. These are the things that I recommend.
Yeah. So it's kind of a it's like you have to really kind of like most of the population is low in magnesium, and that's part of the mitochondria, the little Krebs cycle thing that helps you generate energy. And then you have B1. A lot of people are deficient in that, probably because they have a history of eating too many carbs. But I think that my whole recommendation is healthy keto. So healthy keto is satisfying all your nutrients. If you can't get it with food, well, then take it with a supplement. But you really have to learn about it. It's just not a quick thing. I think there's one thing that I want to say that's a really great kind of a question that allows someone to figure out health problems. It's probably the most important question that's kind of underrated. And I think everyone knows about it, but they're not focusing on it enough. I used to use this in practice all the time. And people would say, man, it's amazing you figured that out. And it's just one stupid question. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What happened just before your health problems started? And then just let them answer that, because you're going to find all sorts of interesting data. They don't really, people don't really connect the dots sometimes. I'll give you an example. I had this lady come in, her teeth are falling out. And she goes, what do I do? I can give her a vitamin, but I'm like, no, well, let's first of all, when did this happen? What happened just before it? She started becoming a vegan. I'm like, oh, okay. Ding, ding, ding. And then I had someone else who come in. I said, they had severe gallbladder pains and liver pains. And, I could start treating them. But then I'm like, wait a second, when did it start? What happened just before it? Well, I just started this new diet. I said, what diet was it? It was called, what was that diet? Ideal Protein.
I remember.
Protein powder. It was all soy protein isolates, low fat, extremely low fat protein powder. I'm like, oh, that's a good way to screw up the gallbladder. And then you find all sorts of interesting stuff that one lady came in with. She spent $40,000 in the emergency room because she had heart attack, right? And they couldn't find it. So she comes to my office and I says, when did it start? Last Tuesday. What did you eat? A banana split. Okay, good. Lay on the table. We started working on, some manual massage on her abdominal area, and all the pain went away because it was just kind of, her system was kind of backed up. And the point is, like, if you take a look at someone's life, especially in the early on, like let's say they got pregnant and they started gaining weight, or they shifted their diet and they started feeling worse. Okay, good. You know what? It could have been something you ate. And then you find out, like, wow, you're eating high levels of eggplant or tomatoes or spinach, like ding, 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 ding. Okay, good. So now I connect the dots. You probably are really sensitive to that. So these are things you could do to rule out, is it the vegetables? Is it this? Sometimes people are taking all these things at once. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Go ahead.
You're not. You're just saying, you're pretty much expressing, like, people need to do the N=1 experiment and find out what's going on, know what their symptoms are, because a lot of people don't do that. They see something online and they'll just mock and copy what they see. They might have a sensitivity to a food that they're not aware of, and then they just eat that food all the time, and then their symptoms exacerbate, and then they start, starting to think that it's the diet itself that's the problem, when it's not actually it's actually the application of it. But what I want to know is, how does, and I want to go to this, and then I have some questions about my little hip and stuff like that. But what is the connection between keto and fasting? Because that's something because I don't understand that. So I'd love to hear you explain what you mean by that.
Yeah. Well, the true health benefit even of keto is that it even goes beyond ketones. It goes right into what it does to the hormone insulin, which is a dominating hormone, which in the presence of insulin, it suppresses a lot of other stuff in your body. I mean, it's huge. So then the question is, what happens when you lower insulin? Well, all these health problems clear up. I mean, from a fatty liver to heart to, diabetes. So what else can actually help you regulate insulin? Well, fasting. I mean, fasting is not just low carb, it's no carb. So there's something in the small intestine called the GIP. It's called GIP. It's a little hormone, and that activates insulin. So every time you eat, regardless of it has to be some type of calories, it'll stimulate insulin. So eating in general, despite what you eat, will raise insulin. So that's why someone that does gastric bypass, which I'm not recommending, by the way, all of a sudden start losing weight because they alter that hormone. They actually eliminate it. Now they can't even stimulate that hormone. So boom, their insulin comes right down just from that, just beyond just like cutting calories or something like that, or cutting your carbs, whatever. So those are the most powerful things to stimulate the reduction of, ketones and the reduction of insulin, the normalization of insulin. Also, they will also both stimulate growth hormone. Fasting will stimulate growth hormone even more than a low-carb diet, even more than exercise. So you have that as a factor. You also have the autophagy benefits, which is the self-cleaning oven effect, which cleans up a lot of microbes in the body. So I think they go together, because if you don't recommend at some point intermittent fasting, and the person is snacking and they're doing 6 meals a day, okay, now they're stimulated insulin, they're bloated. Yes, they're feeling better, but they do at some point need to lose weight too. Because before I did fasting, I had a good percentage of the people losing weight, but a lot that didn't. And if you take someone who's menopausal, they're diabetic, and they have a huge belly, right? And you put them on a low carb diet. Sometimes it's like wow, this is taking a really long time to lose weight. It's not happening. I've even put people like one meal a day, and still they plateau. I had to literally put them one meal every other day. Now, I made sure their nutrients were high, but I needed to, their metabolism was so freaking slow that they needed to do something to get them to actually switch over, because when you're fasting, it's not that you're not eating, you're actually eating your own fat. Now, that thing is like, how do you get someone to convert over and just to eat their own fat? They're actually eating all the time, and that's why they're not hungry. So I think one of the healthiest things that someone could do is eat their own fat. Not physically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. They're eating I always say it's eating the restaurant of your belly, right?
Right.
Because you have a restaurant right here. And we need to send a signal to your primal body that there's food in the refrigerator, so we don't have to hold on to the food here. So when you're hungry, go to the 7-Eleven of your belly.
Exactly.
So, yes. So, but what do you say towards people who? What I get is people starting to have sort of a physiological insulin resistance rebound effect where the blood glucose is spiking on fasting. And they're going through gluconeogenesis. And I know a lot of it's their environment because they're doing too much. And if you're not running on ketones, right, and your glycogen is depleted, how are you not going to go into this adrenal response of gluconeogenesis? What do you think about that when do you think they're doing it wrong? Do you think that can be somebody's metabolic inflexibility that makes their blood glucose rebound and go high on fasting? And the last thing is, aren't you supposed to drop your insulin through just ketogenesis anyway? So what do you think about people who have this rebound of glucose spiking, and then also shouldn't keto handle dropping the insulin?
Yeah, you would think if, from my experience, those people that have that, especially in the morning, like when their sugars are a little high, they always have a massive history of insulin resistance. So here you are, you're cutting the carbs out, but the insulin resistance is still there. And so now we have the body needs to make some sugar here. What's going on? So the liver starts making more sugar. When you do fasting to a certain level, you will deplete the glycogen in your liver, but not in the muscles, but in the liver. And so you still have a certain amount of glycogen, but for someone to think then you need to do, I need to do like a carbo loading today to fill up the reserves and spike insulin. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't. I don't at all. I don't agree with that at all. No.
I think that those people that have the high rebound thing, I'm not convinced it's just an adrenal problem. I think what's happening, it's an insulin resistance problem that they just have to give it more time. I've had people take 8 months to 12 months before it finally resolves. But all I do is I tell them, let's go exercise it off. It seems to be, every other indicator is great. I do know that most of the time they have a fatty liver, so they're dealing with this capacity that's not fully 100%.
Right, low liver function.
Yeah. But if you take someone that is, let's say, for example, I don't know, they do one meal a day, right? And they really are struggling, and then the sugar's high. And but they're not hungry, okay? But they're still eating. And they have a lot of weight to lose. So I've experimented on this. I said, tell you what, why don't you just go as long as you can? Take your nutrients, go as long as ride the wave, and just tell me how you feel, okay? Just go by your feeling. And they go, bam, okay. So now they're going 2 days, and I had one lady going 3 days. And all of a sudden, you start seeing her sugars come normal, her belly starting to finally go down. And I'm like, you know what? There's certain people that just need that because they have such a problem with insulin that you have to avoid food for a period of time to get them into a state where they're really tapping into their own fat a lot more efficiently. And but that's not every person. Most people, you can do it 2 meals a day or one meal a day. But I'm not too concerned about the rebound effect. But the adrenals, actually, I found that you can improve renal function by doing it on a gradient. Like I was really big into treating adrenals in clinic in my office for many, many years. And so I know a lot about that.
You did the adrenal videos years ago. So yeah. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I just see that all the time.
Yeah.
So you would think that if I starve the person or cut their food, they're going to stress adrenals out more. Not necessarily. Actually, it seems to help reduce cortisol. From my experience,
but don't you have to raise blood glucose if you're because your glycogen storage is going to come from carbohydrates and it's going to deplete to some varying large level when you're doing keto, for example. So if you're doing carbs, it might be a different thing. But what if you're doing keto, like someone like myself who's done keto for so long, and I'm eating one meal? No, it doesn't work with me because I'm very ketotic. But let's just take someone trying to apply a ketogenic diet and fasting, and then their glycogen is largely depleted, and you are not really producing ketones, because I work with so many people with glucometers, and their ketones will be at a 0.4 or 0.5, and their blood glucose is 105, and they're fasting and they feel really bad. What would you say to do with somebody who's in who has those type of symptoms?
Well, that's right, because as your blood sugars go up, your ketones go down. They're kind of like a teeter-totter. So first of all, I'm going to say that certain parts of your body need glucose. Your red blood cells, certain parts of the eye, certain parts of the brain, but your body can very, very easily make glucose from even ketones. I don't know if you knew that, but you can make glucose from ketones. There's a great reference that I found on this, if you ever want to know about it. But so you could just make glucose. So what happens though with those people that are just having this spike of glucose, they need to really focus in on insulin resistance, because that's really the problem behind the whole thing, and even the liver. So for that, maybe you recommend something like more chromium or more potassium or magnesium or some things to really speed up the process, but it does take a bit of time. When you find that the liver dumps all the fat completely, like maybe you might want to give more choline, then you start seeing huge changes with improvements with insulin resistance. So a fatty liver, which if they have a belly, they have a fatty liver.
For sure.
Guaranteed. So if you don't have that full capacity of the liver, and then now you're always compromised, your body's compensating, it's like you don't have the function fully of what you had before. So if you give the person choline and maybe even do some fasting to quickly kind of get that fat off the liver, and then all of a sudden the function starts kicking in there. That's kind of what I would do, because you're reversing a fatty liver. You're going the opposite. So sometimes your body will compensate with excessive gluconeogenesis, but I would just have them probably exercise it off. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. I want to know more about inflammation and injury. So I was a pro skater for 12 years and skated these big vert ramps, and I did a lot of falling on my hips. And then I busted my knee, so I broke my ACL, my MCL, my patella tendon, my medial meniscus ripped off the bone. Almost all the cartilage on the condyles, like everything just ripped. And so my leg was hanging like this and twisted in the wrong direction. My kneecap was pushed out to the side. And what I actually did was I was skating a big ramp that was about 12 and a half feet tall, but I was even higher than that. And my leg got stuck at the top behind me like this. And I couldn't get it in. I was yanking it in, and I began to rotate at the knee. So then everything, snapped at the knee joint, and then my leg released and I fell to the ground. My leg was twisted the wrong direction. So then I had 10 surgeries on my left knee, and they just took out the medial meniscus, they took out all the cartilage, they put a screw in, and they, sewed back together my ligaments, and I had a lot of calcification, a lot of blood that got trapped, and my leg was actually glued straight. So they had to do a lot of surgeries to get it to bend again, because I was like, I can't bend my leg, and they said, oh, you're just, being a hypochondriac. And then I went to the doctor, and he was like, oh no. So then I had to do all these corrective surgeries, but because my left knee is damaged, and I would constantly lean on my right hip all the time. And so now my hip is getting worn. It's worn down. There's inflammation there, and I've been able to moderate pretty well through ketogenesis, but I still have hip pain. So you're the man. Like, what do you say?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I feel for you. It's not fun to have that. I mean, I was riding my bike probably about 7 years ago, and the chain jammed. I was going 30 miles an hour on cement, and I went over the handlebars. It happened so fast. You know, you think you could tuck and roll. All I had the time to do is turn my head. So I landed like this on my elbow, and I don't even know how. I was laying there like, what just happened to me? And I looked down on my arm, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So because it was just like 30 pieces, demolished, exploded. I was like, so someone called the ambulance, took me in, major surgery, put this thing back together. So this elbow is like all funky. So I know what that feels like to hit the pavement. That's not fun. Okay, so it's the left knee, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you know, when you come out, I'm gonna actually physically, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna tell you some things to do, because do you have any type of I don't know, rollers or any massage tools handy?
A million of them, literally. I've got like probably 10 different electronic.
You have everything. Okay, great. All right. So you don't have anything like right next to you, right?
I'm leaning on a stool to get off my knee. Yeah. Literally.
Okay. So
that's what I'm leaning on, you guys. You can't see it, but yeah.
Okay. So do you normally have pain in the left knee, or is it in the right hip mainly?
Both now, because I was leaning so many years. You know, I'm almost 53, so I was leaning on the right hip for so many years, I start to wear it down. So now I correct it. I'm like constantly going left, right, trying to find center because they hurt on both sides now.
Well, this would be a really good before and after if I could actually be there and I could just work on it. But I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
You can give yourself so much relief, even with a partial joint. And so in school, the way they teach you is completely backwards. It's terrible, and it just doesn't work. In therapy, like, oh yeah, we'll dig in there, and like, no. What you want to do, like, what's happened? Probably, how long ago was that?
Did I do this?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'll always remember because it was my 26th birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Wow. So you're 30 now, so that was like 4 years ago. No.
Yeah, right. I was like, no. Yeah. Yeah, it's.
So it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been compensating for probably 20-something odd years now. So you can imagine you've set up this whole imbalance in your lower extremity. And it's probably just, I mean, the epicenter of stress on that knee. Constantly, you're just shifting and things like that. And then when you come to Maryland, we'll work on you. But this is what you're going to do. You need do you have one of those rollers with the like little bar rollers?
Yeah, you mean like to make bread?
Foam roller.
Sort of, yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, a rolling pin.
I have one for making like, you know, type of bread stuff, but like otherwise I just have the typical foam roller with the spikes on it. I don't have like the rolling pin thing.
Okay, so that rolling thing won't work for this, but do you have a massage tool, like a little tool? Like a little handheld tool, massage tool?
I actually have an electronic one that I sit and around the...
You need something more without the electronic one. Let me see if I can show you, if I have it in my office here. Hold on, let me just see.
Let me see.
I have it on my other side.
Here's a candle.
Okay, so I think I'm going to send you a link of a tool that you can get. Like, this is a handheld. You need something that you could actually...
Like...
Yeah. Because you want to go deep. It's not going to be like a superficial thing. Let me just tell you the muscle that is going to give you the most relief, stimulate. It's going to be the right rectus femoris. Now, that muscle is a part of the quad. It's attached to your hip, and it's right in the center of your thigh. So if you take your thumbs right now and you press down in the center of your thigh on the right side, and you just down the knee, right in the center, not the knee, but the leg on the thigh, right in the center.
Yeah.
Dig in there. Tell me if it's very sore.
I'm on the wrong leg. Let's do it on the bad leg.
No. You want to do it on the good leg.
Oh, do it on the good. Okay.
This is the key. This is why it works.
Okay.
I'll tell you why in a second, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's probably very painful. Now, switch about an inch to the right and go down the outside of the leg a little bit and tell me how tender that is.
I go to the gym 6 days a week, so it doesn't hurt.
That's probably why you need a massage tool. And believe me, when I see you, I will make her. No.
Okay, right.
No, but
it's not that I can't get sore. I can get sore, definitely.
What happens, though, the muscles, the quad, the vastus lateralis, which is the outside of the thigh on the right side, is the muscle that compensates for the knee on the left. So it's developed like a spasm, and it's below. It's like you won't even realize till after you work it out, and all of a sudden you free that muscle up, and you notice, like, what the heck? My knee feels better on the left side because they both are on the same circuit. So you could either get a massage therapist, or if you want to put yourself in pain, but you want to take some massage tool and strip down the quad down the center and down to the outside, all the way to the knee. Okay, that's like the only thing I want you to do right now. But if you work it out for like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes once a day, and then just walk after that, you're going to notice that you're going to be walking smooth. Like you're going to be like, wow, this is less pressure, less friction, less pain. Because the reason why you have the right hip pain is because your tension fascial lata muscle on the outside is just like it's like a piano cable. It's compensating for the left knee.
It is.
But the worst thing that you can do is work on the bad knee.
Okay.
Because you're re-injuring an injury that's already there. You always work on the opposite side. And this is something that I kind of stumbled on. And you can try any type of pain, work on the opposite, never work on the side of pain. And you will get so much relief. And you have to have the person do it on themselves to see that. But I've had people, like one guy runs over his own leg, right, his car. His car like disengages and he tries to stop it and it ends up running over his leg. And for 6 years, he's limping. I did this little technique, which I'm telling you, and bam, gone, like the pain's gone. Now you have to do it repetitively for the next several weeks, but it'll give you a lot of relief. But don't work on the site of injury. But the problem, you can't really work on your right knee because you have so many compensations. So you have to work on the muscle above the knee on the right side.
On the right side.
Yeah, and probably if you went to massage therapists and just had them work on your glute on the right side, the hip on the right side, that probably would give you more relief than anything you've ever done.
Absolutely. It makes 100% sense. And because I haven't been focusing on that injury, and I really do need to start working on my lower half because I'm completely out of alignment. My hips are like this. And it'll be really cool when I come to Maryland and you can show me a lot of things. And I want to just say right now, people are like, they forgot about us. We didn't forget about you guys. You should, seriously. And you should be happy he agreed to go live, because normally when people do interviews, they do it, they pre-record it and then they edit it and then they release it. So we are live, you guys. And this is the first time I'm able to actually speak to him, and I can see him, he can see me, we're on Skype. But the point wasn't to sit and make comments towards the chat. Sorry guys, that's not what this live is about. And we discussed subjects. I know that you have to go soon, if that's correct, right?
Well, we can answer a couple questions.
We can answer a couple questions as soon as the Greek guy comes back from the toilet. But I remember some of the comments. I was reading some of the comments. People in the chat are talking very much about oxalate dumpage. They're talking about some of the subjects we were talking about, more the hot button subjects, which now somebody said, this is funny. Someone said, "Who else is using their thumbs on their legs right now?" So that was a really cute comment that someone said. Like, who else is not doing that? Is that what someone said? But people were asking about the whole thing when it comes to the, dare I say, people are like, I fasted and I wrecked my adrenals, or my hair started falling out. And there were comments about that. People are commenting about two things. Dr. Eric, they were saying things about the cruciferous vegetables and the thyroid problem and the blocking of the iodine, and also the oxalate and also the histamine response to the vegetables, because there's a lot of carnivore people here. And then also the fasting problems that people have run into. Those are the two things that people are just commenting on, different varying levels and different questions, but it's always the same. It's, what about the vegetables? They created problems for me. And what about the fasting? It created problems for me. It's, to make a long story short, because we're not going to be on here forever until the Greek doctor comes back, and he's moderating the chat. I can't see it. And somebody's screaming out gout, gout, gout. I don't know why you're screaming out gout, but someone in the chat. But what do you say about some of those? We've already talked about it, but what do you say? To put them at peace.
The danger about oxalates are not just arthritis, but kidney stones. That's like the big problem. If you're consuming 2 to 2.5 liters of fluids a day, you are not going to get kidney stones, regardless of how many oxalates you have, because kidney stones come from a supersaturation in the kidney of the calcium and then the oxalates. So, listen, if you feel better without them, go for it. Do not have it, because obviously your body does good without them. I don't consume, honestly, a lot of cruciferous vegetables. I mean, I think there's some of them are okay steamed, but I do more like salad stuff raw, but I always will steam and the cruciferous if I'm going to do it, but I don't do a lot of them. I mean, I don't suggest that should be the only thing you eat to the point of depleting your thyroid. So maybe some arugula here, maybe some broccoli here, but I think I'm not really like huge just pushing this cruciferous thing. And salads, great, but if they tear you up, don't do them. I don't consume spinach. I don't recommend it because it's so high in oxalates. Some of the lettuce leaf salad is pretty low in oxalates. So I would just eat those foods and then eat some cheese with it. If you do dairy, if you don't, that's fine. But the cheese will bind with the oxalates and it'll go through the body. It won't be absorbed through the blood. It won't end up in your kidney. And that's one option too. So let's see, there was another question about, oxalates, cruciferous, the thyroid.
The thyroid, the hair falling out, fasting. Yeah, my hair's falling out. I'm having thyroid symptoms, fasting. I think
the hair thing, I did figure that out a while ago that it works really well. It's either you need more trace minerals or there's something about your diet. Like, let's say you do keto and you're doing a lot of MCT oil or a lot of butter. The more fat that you do, I will say that it does deplete certain minerals. It kind of like you deplete certain trace minerals with that. So I know at one time I was doing a lot of butter. And I noticed that I started showing some symptoms of low minerals. I'm like, where'd that come from? I was doing like a ton of butter. And, I'm not against it, but.
So you think that fat's depleting the trace minerals in the small intestine?
If you're doing a diet that you're adding more fat, okay? Like you're doing the keto bombs and you're doing these fat, it can deplete certain things in certain people. But I'm not telling you not to do it. But if your hair is falling off, you might want to just eat the fat within the food that you eat and don't just add extra. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
And what do you think about, people are asking about carnivore, where they wanted to know what you thought of the carnivore movement?
I think it's those people that are doing it are benefiting immensely because they probably have some gut issues, and it's amazing for so many people. And I put people on it that have certain digestive stuff, and they do amazing. It's like miraculous. So I always say, listen, If you start reacting to vegetables, then stop eating them, but test it out. See if you feel better from it, if you feel worse from it. That's a simple test. But here's the thing. I've benefited from them, and so personally, so I'm not going to just go completely, okay, everyone, stop doing that because now there's a carnivore diet just because everyone's going to do it. Like I don't have any reason to switch over myself. And also there's so many people that I work with that are doing great. I don't see a need to switch over, but certain cases, I think it's totally, absolutely necessary.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I tried it for almost a year because at first I thought it was ridiculous, but I want to try it. And so I tried it, but I made it a keto carnivore, and people are saying, "Oh, she recommends 200 grams of fat." I do. I do. And no, I don't use things like MCT oil anymore because people weren't adapting on it. Their ketones were plummeting on they do tons of MCT oil. And I switched people over to animal fats like tallow and lard, and then I wanted to try carnivore myself, and other people are saying things like eating 2 pounds of beef. And I had a consultation this morning with a woman who was eating 2 pounds of beef, and she started having issues. Like she had her urine was getting really dark. She was having kidney pain. And so I was like, okay, so I wanted to be able to do it myself, to go like, no, 2 pounds of beef, no. You're 5'1", eating 2 pounds of beef? What? So it's an N=1 experiment. Everybody's body is different. Like you said, I am a little bit more of a stickler on things, so I'm a little bit more specific. I don't like the casein and cheese. My thing with coaching people is that I've just seen so many people have reactions to cheese and have
acne
reactions to cheese. Not everybody will, but because I see so many people have a reaction, I just sort of cut it out. So I'm like, let's clean up your diet. Let's start with clean. And then I always say we can work things in and out of your diet. I decided to break my carnivore thing to add avocado back because I was like, I'm not messing with my potassium. And I don't want to take a bunch of potassium supplements. It's not the easiest on the kidneys, especially potassium chloride, but adding the avocado back was a game changer for me. And yeah, so you left the room, the Greek guy, and so we were going to go over some questions, but I couldn't because you weren't here. And now he's back. Is there anything else that we can, fun, cool questions for Dr. Berg that, because I can't, because the chat's going like blah, 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 blah. And I'm just trying to go by memory of what some of the things that people had asked. So can you look through that and see any questions specifically for him?
Yep.
And
he's looking for the...
I also want to show, while he's looking for some last questions, can you explain what's going to happen in Maryland? Because we've alluded to it sometimes. Yeah. And people may not know what you're putting together. So go for it.
Okay, guys. So I invited Stephanie to our third annual Keto Summit, in Maryland, the Gaylord Hotel. This is a huge event. There will be 1,000 people flying in from all over the world. And she's one of the main speakers. It's going to be hot. It's going to be really hot because it's a lot of fun. You get to have all these like-minded people in one place to share, to talk with, to have fun. And then we all get to meet you guys on the other side. Finally, we get to meet you. And that's really the highlight for us because, I do these videos. You do these videos. Have you ever met any of these people in person?
Yeah. I have, because I, at one point, did a world tour.
Oh, okay.
So I went to South Africa twice. I went to Australia for a month doing seminars in different cities. I went to Sweden. I went to New York. And then after that, I went to the Paleo Effect. So actually, I have luckily been able to meet a lot of people. Yeah.
Wasn't it cool?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird.
Like, you're the person watching my videos and you're like, wow, I appreciate that. And so we're going to cover a lot of very fascinating data. And it's all about, if something's helped you, why not just strengthen that successful action and get more of that and get better at it, get more knowledge and also different viewpoints. And you'll learn so many things from the people in the audience, like just sit next to people. They give you ideas, and it's just a great place to it's going to be a great summit. Some of the speakers that came last year, they do the circuits of all the different summits, and they like mine the best. So I'm not biased, but I'm actually going to be doing the low carb convention this weekend. But it's about 50% medical doctors. This is going to be the layperson. There's some medical doctors from all over the world that will fly in, but it's mainly going to be practical stuff that you guys can use, and it's just going to be a blast. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and it's one big party. It's one big party.
I'm so excited. Like, you guys, when he reached out to me, I was like, why me? And then also I was like, I mean, I went to the Paleo Effects and it was like this way. How does it work with the speakers? And he told me, I was like, oh snap, this is going to be fun. I mean, he takes care of you. So
yeah,
I'm so honored. I still cannot believe it. I'm like,
yeah,
super exciting.
You're gonna like it. So we'll stay in communication. I have I'll give you more data as we get closer as far as the details and all that. But it's I think it's just going to be a great time. So we'll definitely do some more videos and promote it and talk about it.
For sure. Actually, Michalis, the Greek guy, he put together a video. Do you want to show that? He just took a couple seconds and put it together. Very quick today, so we can see what you're talking about, and then you can go and explain how people can come to this event if they're interested. So you want to show that, Michalis?
Yes, one second.
Michalis, the Greek way. So if you hold on one second, Eric, he's going to show.
2020
I'm in the way.
Keto Summit. This August 29th and 30th, held at the beautiful Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center in National Harbor, Maryland.
No, the sound.
Vital information on the ketogenic diet. Here's a short summary of the speakers and topics this year.
Can Eric hear me?
Author and YouTube educator
I can hear you.
Eric
But
Berg
they can't hear us talk,
presenting
right?
some fascinating information on nutritional deficiencies. Stephanie Person will be here. She is a keto coach, a social media influencer,
so it's just a few seconds. It's going to end after
the ketogenic diet to thousands of people around the world. She will share her most popular practical tips to take your results to the next level.
There it is. Oops. Okay. So, I don't think you could see anything, Eric, but they could. And they saw the promo, a shortened version of it. So you guys saw right there some of the, sort of like the highlights of this event. So where can they learn more? Dr. Eric Berg? I don't know. I should call you. I want to call you Eric. But Eric, where should they go? And what give us some more info.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I will give you a link to put down below, so you can just share that. Right when we get off, I'll send you the link. You could also go to drberg.com, and it's right in the shop. It's right at the top. It says Summit. You can sign up. I have all the information of the speakers. You're going to be there. So, so I will give you that link immediately, and I'll send it over so people can just check it out.
Yeah, and we'll put everything in the comment or the show notes below too when this finally gets published, because we're live now. Greek guy wrote, will it be live streamed? The event, but it'll be live.
We're going to record it, but it's not going to be live streamed. We'll have it as a kind of a digital program after. But it's, it's kind of like some guys just have it streamed. We're not set up for that. So
yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt to stream that. I tried to stream one of my events, and it was like, I'm never going to do that again. It was so no.
It's like, I don't know if that's beyond my pay grade.
Right, it's too much work. What are the dates for this event?
It's going to be April 29th and 30th. I'm sorry, August 29th and 30th at the end of summer. So you guys should come out. And also, if you come the 28th, it's the night before pre-registration, and then hang out. See, Maryland. Have you been to Maryland before by DC?
No.
Wait, oh my gosh.
Maybe when I was a kid, but no, not as an adult.
It is really, really green, beautiful. There's cool stuff to do. This is where it's at. This is the history. This is where all it started. There's so many things to see. So you'll have to experience the environment when you come out.
Oh, for sure.
Right across. We're right on the Potomac, right? So right across the Potomac is George Washington's house. Mount Vernon is right there. You can take a little taxi right to his is established. He's not still there, but you can check it out.
Cool. Okay, I'm not going to go anymore towards questions because I think we've covered most of everything. They just get so repetitive. Somebody asked something like, can you drink bubbled water? I mean, I'm getting weird questions like that, like not worth like reading actually. And what I'll do is after Dr. Berg goes, I'm going to continue with the live stream and have a sit down and have a conversation with the chat because I haven't addressed them and they're like, you're not addressing us. So
yeah, good idea.
You forgot about us. We didn't forget about you. But did you have anything else that you wanted to add? Because I'm going to stick around. But did you have anything to add before going back to your incredibly busy life?
No, the only thing I wanted to add is the only thing that my whole thing is like, I'm going to provide people with different solutions and try them if it works for you. If great, if it doesn't, you find something else that worked, go for it. My goal is not to push everyone on my diet. My goal is to help people be healthy regardless of the type of program you're on. So I'm not pushing a diet. I just want to help people. That's all I want to do.
I love that. And having the conversation on the phone was like a game changer for me. It's like people think that they know us, but they don't. And they're very quick to be keyboard warriors and make comments. And, I was so new to the internet. It's like when I started doing lives, I didn't know what I was doing. You get caught up and people notice me. They're like, oh, she's so sarcastic. She's so narcissistic. And I'm just like, no, it's hard to do this. And when people are coming at you like, rah, 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 as a human, this isn't real. This isn't in our evolution. And so often I've made the wrong impressions with people as well. People don't know who I am and think that they do. And I think I have done the same thing with a few other people. But you have been so kind to me, and you're such good people. And the conversation with you was just awesome on the phone. It was really great. So I love the fact that it's like, hey, if your people or my people can get something out of our conversation or things that we have learned, awesome. And if they don't, not a problem. And I think people take things way too seriously. And I'm learning that about myself as well. Yeah,
exactly. I agree. It's like, it's just, you know what? It's not like, there's like a lot of heated arguments against different viewpoints. Like, why can't someone have a different viewpoint? Why can't you be okay with someone having a different viewpoint? I'm not going to be upset at that. Okay, so you're a vegetarian. I don't care. Like, good, that's your viewpoint. It doesn't have to be my viewpoint.
No, and
if it works for you, great.
And I'm learning that myself. You know what I mean? I'm learning that myself as evolving as Stephanie. And it's been a very interesting last year for me. And one of the things that I have done to separate myself from the internet, because it's so in our faces, us as figures online, was to get a friggin' horse. And I said this to you on the phone. I was like, I need to get away from this, because who I am on this camera is not who I am. I mean, I am myself. But there's so many more layers. So it was so nice to get a horse and get away from everything. And like you, I like to do a lot of research and then come back. So if people resonate with things I'm saying, cool. Or if people resonate with things that you're saying, obviously they do. People friggin' love you. Let me tell you. Okay, Eric, people love you. You have like the charm. I don't know what it is, but they love you. Wow. It's like people love you. All day, every day. So you should be proud of that. You should be really, really proud of your work. You've been working hard for a lot of years.
Well, I love them. I love them back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. All right, guys. I'm not anti. I'll ask that question. Answer keto and gout. I don't want to talk about keto and gout. The Greek guys like typing messages to me.
A lot of people asked about keto and gout.
I will.
Okay. Let me can I give my 2 cents and then I'll zipit.com. I promise. It's just, if you just change the pH a little bit and just make it slightly less acid, the gout crystals stop depositing on the joint. So you can either do the potassium citrate, which works wonders, or you can do vegetables, unless you're not into it. But that tends to kind of counter the acidity of that, because even when you're fasting, you actually do spike uric acid. But I will say that if you do like heavy meats, maybe you might want to increase your fat versus the protein, and that might offset it. Now, that's just my viewpoint.
That's what I say too. Yeah. Yeah. Good viewpoint. Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna send you the link actually before I go. So have a wonderful discussion, and I'll talk to you real soon.
Yes. I can't wait. Thank you, Eric. You've been a full-on amazing person. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming over to my little humble channel and being a rock star. Every email he gives back to me like this, like, you're so busy, but you're a really cool dude. I love it. So thank you.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. So have a great evening.
Okay, I will.
Okay, talk soon.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm going to sit my butt down because my knee hurts. I was cleaning out a horse stall for a very long time. And the Greek guy who's worked as a physical therapist, he brought me over some tape. So like physio tape. You're going to put that in the chat for them? Greek guy's going to drop in. And I'm going to answer your guys' questions. So these 391 people, don't go anywhere. We're going to hit the subjects, right? We go in there.
1 second.
Okay.
I will fix everything.
Yeah.
You do not move from there.
Okay, he's getting annoyed because I'm gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the oxalates. I'm gonna talk about. This is a post Dr. Berg soft debate interview. I'm gonna go in and explain all those things that you were asking. Here's the thing with my interviewing you guys, because we're about to release the video with Ken Berry. Ken Berry also said a lot of things I literally don't agree with, but I'm not here to badger my guests at all. And I wanted him to speak freely. And we spoke before. We spoke on the phone, we spoke on email, we spoke prior to this live stream about our differences. And so he has been like so sweet to me and so kind. So whatever the politics of how he does stuff, I don't give a crap about right now at all. I just feel fortunate that he reached out. I've been criticizing him, and he reached out to me to speak to in his event. He was like, he cherry picked his speakers, and he really wanted me, and I just felt mortified. I've never felt so embarrassed in my life. And so I was like, let's talk. So we talked, and we just went off subject. We started talking about all kind of stuff. What's that?
That's all the comments that you can look in.
Okay.
To control.
Okay, so I'm going to go and answer your guys' questions. Thank you, Denise and everyone. If I didn't see... You're not silenced, Chrissy. It's too hard to...
Yeah.
Oh, she was?
She was for 30 seconds, or 300 seconds.
What was she doing?
Over-criticizing Dr. Berg. She's against Dr. Berg and what he preaches.
Yes.
And she overdid it, in my opinion.
In your opinion. And I asked him, I asked the Greek guy to moderate the chat because I didn't want... First of all, you guys, I'm super stressed that he invited me and wants me in his event. He's literally paying for everything. And I felt sick to my stomach because I've been very critical of him. I've told him 5,000 times, I'm so sorry, it's such, you learn. When you see people doing stuff that you feel is not correct, I'm very vocal about it. But what I didn't know was his character. He is flexible. He was willing to do a live on my channel knowing that I'm against fasting, and he's a very much pro-fasting. So let's give him credit for these things. Now, the politics of what he says on the fasting or the cruciferous vegetables or the kale shakes and all this kind of stuff, I don't know if he's still promoting kale shakes or not. They're very goitrogenic. I don't know. I kind of don't care. You guys have to go do your research yourself. He's not into the carnivore diet. I totally am. I think it's freaking amazing. I make it a keto version of carnivore, which means basically now there's like different levels of this whole keto carnivore, but basically it's all animal products, but adding high fat. But then so many people have come to me because of the keto, carnivore yogi, having electrolyte problems so bad. And I've had so many clients lately have kidney pain, dehydration, water swelling. Now I'm going to address these subjects because they're super important to understand. Yes, 7 to 10 cups of vegetables, but he said in the live that he doesn't eat that many vegetables. I don't know, not my lane. So Chrissy, you're going to have to take it up with him. That is like, you know, I could be old Stephanie and be triggered and start saying stuff, but I'm not. I'm trying to be a better human being. Somebody said to me, oh, you trying to make money? I was like, have you seen that I have not monetized my videos still? Like, no, I ain't trying to make big money. You know, if I am the worst business person ever because I barely make any money. Now, let's hit some of these questions.
Good luck.
What?
Yeah, there are a lot.
There's a lot, okay.
Yeah.
Love Dr. He loves seeing, what, Kim Berry, what does it say? All right.
Yeah.
It's wonderful stuff. Apologize that you are learning. Stay humble. I'm always humble. I got a mouth on me though. I don't put up with any bullcrap. And I do think people are getting hurt on diets, and I don't like fasting at all, 0%. I think that people do it for weight loss, but I told him that. I'm not going to shove it down his throat though, but I think that fasting, and I know that everybody I work with, they get damaged from fasting and 1 meal a day and all this kind of stuff. You guys know I interviewed Mike Mutzel. He's so pro fasting on 1 meal a day, and we still are good friends. He's still like, hey, yo, what's up, Steph? So I'm learning how to, respect the things I respect about like what they do, and the stuff that I don't like is not my business because I don't freaking give a crap. Now, with my audience, y'all want to hear about the oxalates? Yes, they're horrible. I developed kidney crystals, and I don't think that there are people who are genetically less prone to crystals. I think that if you take in too many mono foods, too many oxalates, so I was eating keto, spinach has a lot of potassium. He's right, you can't offset the potassium. And so I start pounding down the potassium. I developed kidney crystals because I had too many. I was having Ceylon cinnamon, a lot of it. I was having stevia. I was having spinach and parsley. And that's fully oxalate driven. So, what? Dang, you're making all these grunting sounds in the background.
No, I thought it went off.
Okay.
I need to go set up the next one.
Set up the next live. Oh, that's why you gave me the iPad. Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to interview Dr. Fung. I never will. I don't like what he does at all, point blank, period. And sort of the reason why I'm apologetic to Dr. Berg is because he has other information besides fasting. Okay? He's got other things of tidbits of information. If you go to his channel, there's a lot of stuff besides keto and fasting. His version of keto with cheese, you know I'm all against all of that. Point blank, period. I try to, in a very respectful way, kind of counter him on these subjects, but I wasn't going to shove it down his throat. Like he didn't really have some of the answers that I would want and you guys want, so why push it? It is what it is. So Leela G, you don't feel better when you're fasting unless you're, I don't feel that you're doing better. I don't think anybody feels better when they're fasting. I think that everybody who is fasting, unless they are fasting because they have histamine so bad, so that's why fasting would ever play a role. You have histamine intolerance and you stop eating the foods that are making you feel tired, itchy, bloated, seasonal allergies, digestive distress, farting less, and you fast and you feel better, but it's not better for your adrenals, period. When you fast, you must rest, because if you're not in ketosis, here's Stephanie's back. All right, let's talk about this. If you're not in ketosis, and this is what I tried to ask him, but I didn't really get the answer. If you're not in ketosis, okay, and your glycogen is depleted, you can't live on blood glucose. You cannot restore muscle glycogen on gluconeogenesis. This is the breakdown of amino acids to get glucose in the cell. You can't do that. It's impossible. Glycogen stays low. That's the gas tank. You're going to have some glycogen in your liver and blood glucose. That's not enough to go fasted cardio, go to the gym, go to work, do all this stuff and start eating. Because if you don't eat something, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal gland will send signals to the adrenal glands to raise blood glucose through cortisol. That's a fact. That's what it is. Gluconeogenesis. It doesn't matter. You don't create, what he was saying, oh, you know, you can make glucose out of fat. Yes, out of triglycerides. It's gluconeogenesis of your fat cells. Yes, it can do that. But not that many people can do gluconeogenesis of the fat cells. It's Michael Phelps, the swimmer. He can eat 10,000 calories and convert his triglycerides back into glucose and use them. Us, we develop inefficient fat cells. That's the reason why when people lose weight, they're skinny fat. They're flabby. They're not muscular. Okay? A1C went up on carnivore. And here's the thing. All these carnivore gurus, and I'm not naming names anymore because y'all try to prod me to do that, they say stuff that's incorrect. People eating 2 pounds of beef, your body cannot eat that much meat. You can only eat, and this is a grown male, can only eat 22 grams total protein and synthesize it for muscle. Anything that your body cannot eat, chomp, digest, digestive enzymes, protease, break down in the conveyor belt, when you stuff too much protein in, the body goes, I can't use this all. I'm going to convert it to glucose and it's going to make your A1C go up. Period. I've seen it a million times. And the thing is, I love Dr. Arabic. Look, he's a sweetheart. He's a kind soul. He invited me. He's going to take care of everything. But I work with clients every freaking day. I've done over 3,000. It's my grind. I love talking to people. He's too busy for that. He got a full business now. I don't. Gluconeogenesis, too much protein, not enough fat. He did say something about that. Too much protein, not enough fat, glucose goes up. Yeah, he did say that. Physiological insulin resistance. Your blood glucose goes up with too much protein. That is a fact, period. So people doing carnivore and they notice that their A1C is going up or the glucose is going up, you're having to digest. Anytime the body is stressed, the blood glucose is going to skyrocket. So, let me see, athletes have different metabolism, etc. But athletes also, but thank you, Stephanie, for being you. Thank you, Chrissy. I know, look, Chrissy, I feel you, girl. I do. You know that. I have spoken very critically of him and Dr. Fung. I've spoken critically of all of them. But I don't want to be caught up on the internet crap anymore. I put myself in it like an idiot, and now I'm taking myself out. Okay? You want to talk about what some of these guys have done that is not good? I'll talk about that. But I don't want to talk about them because I don't give a crap. So, yeah, Keto Savage, so funny because I might be working with a bodybuilder soon, and we talked about him today, actually. But I have a bodybuilder who's huge, and he wants me to help him with his keto thing. He's done keto for years. I feel so but privileged that somebody so known and so big is wanting me to work with them. So I'll announce that later. And it's not Keto Savage, but what about the fat and mineral thing mentioned? Okay. I'm sorry. That's so not true. And I mean, it was not mentioned. I'm not going to say the person, but it was not mentioned how this process happened. I asked and I didn't get the answer. So you guys have to think like this. Let's be very, very clear, okay? We are very similar, but we all have different levels of damage. Let's talk about that damage. Okay, we have weak gut walls. We have hypochlorhydria, okay? So anything that's coming to digestion. You have low stomach acid. Stomach acid has protease and lipase. That's going to help break down fats and proteins, okay, especially the protein. And you need stomach acid because stomach acid helps you break down food so you can extract the minerals and vitamins out of food. Point blank, period. Okay. So most of us walk around with hypochlorhydria. We eat food too fast. We develop a weak gut wall. The intestinal wall starts with your small intestine, right? That's where you're going to absorb minerals. The reason why people are malabsorptive is that everything takes place in the small intestine. What's the organ that gets hit the most from having a leaky gut? The small intestine. What do people do? They eat a bunch of vegetables. What do vegetables do? They demineralize you. They have phytic acid in them. They have salicylates, oxalates, goitrogens, polyphenols, nightshades, lectins, oxalates, gluten. These things can demineralize your body like no one's business. Okay? This is my lane. This is what I know. Stephanie came back. What's up, Mike? Mike, I got spunky. I don't want to be like this to him because, you know, he's very chill and my energy follows his energy. I'm not going to act like this when he's around because I have too much respect for him at this juncture. But so we got the digestive issues, right? So people who do carnivore, well, first of all, most of you have low stomach acid. You know how hypochlorhydria is created? Soda, juice, carbs, alcohol, cigarettes, stress, taking proton pumps, like I have a stomach ache, I'm going to take Tums. Aspirin, all of these things, and they break down the mucus lining of your stomach. And when your stomach has any type of itis, the acids go low so the stomach wall can heal. Then we have the small intestine, and you have gap junctions. They open up. They become permeable, which means big things can now enter the bloodstream and your body begins to attack it. That's the problem with these vegetables. A lot of people, and I was asking him about this, but we didn't get a clear answer, but we're going to talk about it now. Cruciferous vegetables block iodine from getting into the thyroid. If you're not eating iodine-rich foods or salts, and you're eating processed food, your electrolytes and your minerals are fracked, right? And so you're sitting here and you cannot, you guys know I don't like supplements. So he was like, oh, eat shellfish. But I was like, a lot of people have histamine intolerance. They can't eat shellfish. And if you're doing keto, there's too many freaking carbs in shellfish. Let's keep it real. Liver has carbs too, but if you cook it more on the rare side or on the raw side, you're going to get less carbs and you're going to get all of these great, amazing minerals. So I did a video, you guys, on the thyroid. You need vitamin D, selenium, iodine, right? D, selenium, iodine. Selenium has to be balanced with iodine. Zinc has to be balanced with copper. When you take the supplementation form of these things, you completely create more problems for your kidneys and you don't heal the thyroid. So you need these for making T3. Zinc, selenium, iodine, vitamin D. You need vitamin C and your B complex to get you have this free T3 that attaches to a protein globulin, which is like a taxi cab. It's going to drive it to the cell so you can burn fat as you freaking get older, right? And not have the thyroid issues and regulate your whole metabolism. You need certain nutrients to have one, to create one, and one to drive to a cell and to get into a cell receptor for thyroid hormone. When people fast, and they have, so people are like, there's T-Rods, there's almost no carbs in eggs. There's carbs in all meat. It's under a 1.0. It's not even worth mentioning. The meat, when it's cooked, yes. The shellfish and the liver, yes, it can go up. By the way, for those, you guys know I coach, I have to remember to do this. I coach people, I consult people. We go over keto, carnivore, omnivore, low carb, high fat. I'll explain if you do fast, the best and safest fasting method. Most people are having adrenal problems, right? They're cortisol driven. That's why when people test their blood sugar, it runs high. Carnivore Yogi has a continuous glucose monitor and her blood sugar's through the roof on carnivore and fasting, yo. We're women. A lot of you guys are women in this chat. You have to think about our endocrine system. Salmon roe, if you have leaky gut, salmon roe is so histamine bonanza, and it's not easy to get. So liver is your go-to. Remember, salmon roe are very high histamine. As soon as bacteria starts growing on it, it's very hard to heal that gut wall. The best foods to heal the thyroid is liver. It's liver, it's beef heart, because you're going to get large amounts of B12. You're going to get large amounts of vitamin C in liver. That's more bioavailable, and you're going to get that zinc copper balance that he was talking about. I finally had a consultation and got serious about doing her way of keto and started seeing improvements right away. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. Carnivore Yogi is what made me find you. Oh, that's cool, Chrissy. Yeah, so Carnivore Yogi hit a lot of walls. She is emailing me all the time asking for advice to help with her getting her blood sugar down, because her blood sugar was, and here's the thing, we couldn't go into the electrolyte, but I felt like if I started talking to him about electrolytes and more about thyroid dysfunction on fasting, I think it would get uncomfortable. So I didn't want to go there. You take desiccated liver from ancestral supplements. Yes! Where is it? There. Here's ancestral supplements. They're the best because they do head to tail. They do brain, trachea, thymus, lungs, freaking kidneys, intestine, testicles for men with their, they do everything. So there's a code. It's Steph Keto there if you guys are interested. I eat liver too, so I need to stop the roe. I mean, Chrissy, I don't know if you have histamine. You don't have to stop the row if you're not reacting to it. How do you know if you have histamine? That's a great question. So histamine can be weird stuff. It can be I eat something and I'm tired, but that also can be hypoglycemia. I eat something and I'm tired. I have seasonal allergies. I can't sleep at night. I have like a sinus infection that won't ever go away. I got itchiness, eczema, bloated, I'm gassy, my stool is loose, I'm constipated. That's histamine. It looks like allergies. You could be allergic to cats. You think it's dander and seasonal, but it's actually a weak gut wall. So histamine is when your body will produce histamine from the mast cells so your body can heal in an inflammatory bubble. But then when it stays too high and you don't have anything to take away that inflammation, it begins to break down tissue. So you could take things like liver and kidney that help you produce more diamine oxidase that get lost in the small intestine because we eat bread, because we drink alcohol, because we take pharmaceuticals, because we take antibiotics, because we eat cheese. Unfortunately, cheese is another very, very damaging. Thank you, Mark. And thank you everybody who donated to the live stream. I just saw it pop up when he was still here. Is it okay to have any of those? Is it okay? Okay, I don't have any of those symptoms. So that's great, Chrissy. So you can have the avocado that's high in potassium and have the salmon rash on your back. So Sherry, I don't know if that's eczema. I don't know if it's eczema or histamine or candida. So there's 3 possibilities, so you have to tell me more to be able for me to say more. Histamine, runny nose, flatulence, anxiety. But biohacking, diabetes, eating what? That's why carnivore is so awesome. But you have to make it a keto carnivore version or you're going to start, really messing with your health. Thank you, Sakara Feliciano, who's always donating. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Bring a snack to Thunder from his biggest... I will. I couldn't go today. I feel so freaked out when I just bought a horse, you guys. I saved him from an absolute horrible human being, horrible man. And I had to literally get him out of the place in 24 hours because I thought he would do something where the cops had to be called. So he's out, he's in a safe place. I'll talk more about him to other people who just found this channel. Casein and cheese, exactly, Brandon. So casein, here's the problem. The body is really weird. You eat bread, you develop, weak gut wall, and the wall of your intestine begins to open. Now things are going in and out in your body where it starts attacking it, right? So your body starts attacking itself and all of a sudden you eat cheese. The body still thinks that cheese is wheat. If you have a weak gluten tolerance, you can't eat cheese. Cheese will continue to break down the microvilli in your small intestine and keep those holes open. When the holes are open, your immune system goes down, and that's where the coronavirus plays a role. You have a weak gut wall, your body can't fight off infection. It just can't. Bless you for saving Thunder. You guys, I never planned on buying a horse. I was just gonna lease a horse like you can lease a car and go like once a week. And this horse was neglected, he got fed, but he never was worked with. He was stuck. He developed a lot of anxiety. And I was like, I just pulled the trigger and I was like, screw it, I'll get him. And so I'm exhausted because of it. And you guys will see, I will post more about him. And I said in my last thing that I'm putting a Patreon together because you guys don't make any money. Okay, I'm no Dr. Eric Berg. I don't make no friggin' money. I don't. I started this because my mom had a glioblastoma. It's the deadliest form of brain cancer. The doctors gave her less than 1% of survival. And I started keto 12 years ago to save her butt. She's still alive. And I just can't stop talking about it. I didn't do this for weight loss. If I wanted to make a lot of money, I would talk about, I would show the abs all day long, right? Show the abs all day and make a ton of money. And say, follow my 90-day weight loss program, and I would start intermittent fasting, and if I did that, I'd make more money. But no, I've got to be poor and be annoying to some people. So I'm going to start a Patreon, and it has nothing. I don't want a single dollar for myself. It's only for this horse, because if he gets sick, I don't have the money to take care of him, because he's a 1,400-pound dog. Okay, now let me see here. What about goat cheese? No, goat cheese has less casein, but you have to think skeptical, caveman. Goats tend to be fed more corn. So I just get rid of the cheese. To answer your question, wine, beer, cheese. If you're histamine intolerant, one of your first symptoms is a runny nose. Yes. you know, he made comments about like testing things, but like I work with so many people, you don't have to. I know what's going to react. Most people don't keto adapt. They do it the wrong way. They're eating too much protein, too little fat. Most people try fasting for the first time because they're obsessed with weight loss. Thank you, Sherry B. For you and Thunder, I'm in for Patreon too. Thank you, Sherry. And like I said, I'm going to create a donation for Thunder, and I want people to be able to track it. You can see what I'm spending on him, his food, his board, and anytime he gets sick, because I never was going to buy a horse, ever. And now I'm like, what did I just do? I'm like scared shitless that I bought a horse, you know? I'm just scared to death. What did I do? Yes, no, don't love cream cheese, Chrissy, honey. You just need to let that go. And most of the time, cream cheese is coming from corn-fed cows. It's very, very much going to go towards the gut wall and create these issues with the zonulins, which are proteins that open up the gut wall, the gap junctions, and open them up. So leave it alone. Thank you. Mostly eat zucchini. Don't eat a bunch of zucchini and peppers. These are all freaking nightshades, especially the peppers. You guys, be careful for the vegetables. I used to go and say promote more vegetables too, until I ran into the gnarly hardcore, all the health issues people are having from eating too many plants that are out of season, genetically modified. People are like, I eat organic. Organic does not mean it hasn't, the seed has not been genetically modified, you guys. Modification, hybridization, selectively breeding alters a plant, raises the internal pesticides, and people have skin issues. They've got autoimmune issues. They have issues on top of issues on top of issues, and it's because of plants, and we don't give our bodies a break in the winter. We just eat the stuff from South America because it's imported, and then goes the cycle. You guys, he's 55. I'm almost turning 53. Okay? This is almost 53. Full natty. I don't fast. I don't want to be paper thin lean as a woman. I want to not have wrinkles. I don't want to have creepy skin. These are the things that I'm getting from people who fast. They're getting bags under their eyes, are having kidney distress because their electrolytes are so whacked. Don't even get me started on the sodium potassium balance pump he was talking about. It's 3 sodium molecules that pop out, go into the cell and come out and are go back into the bloodstream, into the cell, out of sight. This is the pump. 3 molecules of sodium, 2 of potassium. That pump gets whacked up. Some people their electrolytes are so fracked up that the cell doesn't even let potassium in. And then they got to go run off to the hospital because potassium is going to help the heartbeat. This stuff is serious, you guys. You can't just fast and eat a bunch of stuff. Oh, I just get my fat from meat. No, you can't. You would have to eat so much fat to even be ketotic. A lot of people have so much weird information out there, but the best way to put it all together is work with people. You see, this stuff doesn't work, and most of people don't experience autophagy because they're so adrenal driven. Cortisol will block autophagy. If you're releasing too much cortisol because your gas tank is low, remember this is like a car. You put gasoline in it, which is food. If your body is under stress, it will go into the fight or flight system and raise cortisol and make you more inflamed. So when somebody said, what if your A1C is too high off of no carbs? Yes, you do not block mineral absorption through high fat. That's ridiculous. Otherwise, I would be deficient in everything if that were true. But yeah, salt tastes amazing. And you have to have certain, so here you go. You've got sodium and salt, not the same. Not the same. The amount of sodium and the amount of salt is not the same. So you eat about a teaspoon of salt a day. But you have to counterbalance that with potassium, especially on a low carb diet, because when you drop your carbs down, or if you fast or eat one meal a day and everything's low, then the body's not getting the balance of electrolytes. And then people start hitting major health issues. I've done consultations with people who literally are look at Carnivore Yogi. Carnivore Yogi did a consultation with me. I set her right instantly because when you don't have enough potassium, your body will hold on to sodium, you hold on to water. And she was up 10 pounds of water. She dropped water overnight when I explained what she needed to do in a consultation, you guys. And she was starting to have kidney pain. You cannot listen to these blanket statements. Oh, eat one meal a day. Oh, eat carnivore. Oh, eat fast. I feel so great. I always say that people don't know how they feel, that they've cut out things that felt bad and so they feel better. But if you hung out with me in a 24-hour day where I ride my bike all over LA, work out for the 3 hours, get up at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, work with a horse all day outside with a busted leg, come home late and go to bed and my brain's on freaking fire, you won't make it. And you won't even make it through the workout with me at almost 53. So I just don't believe people are like, I feel great on this. I'm like, well, do you feel, put you in my body, be like, oh snap, I thought I felt great, but now I'm in Stephanie's body and I realize I can go higher with my optimal health. Is it 5?
Yes, it's 5:04.
Yeah?
Don't you worry.
You're here though, right?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
here. Well, I'm here, I will go press the play.
I know, but I'd like to do some videos with you after too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Deborah, will this be disciplined? Okay, hair. Okay. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Steph, for great content as usual. Thank you. First of all, there's a Greek guy, you guys. Say hello to the Greek guy. It's my bestie. And you guys, I don't bully him. Do I bully you?
Nah.
You love me, right?
You're half size.
I know. I always say, people are like, she's so big. No, I'm not. Look at me. They stand next to me.
And
Because every time I do that, people are like, oh my God, you're so short, Stephanie.
yeah. Hello.
Okay. Stop being scared of Stephanie. I'm just little bitty one with a big mouth.
Yeah. The mouth though.
I know, right? Look, I disagree with a lot of what Dr. Berg does. That's not going to change. But what I can say is he's got a lot of information to it that I do love. And he is a very kind person. And I realize living on the internet, not that many people are kind. And I spoke to him on the phone. He didn't even try to get off. You know how people try to rush you off the phone? I'm so busy. I sat in front of the freaking ranch on the phone with him with my feet up on the dashboard and we were just chomping it up. And I was like, he's a good guy. Just a little bullying. No, I didn't bully him at all. No. You know, I don't bully anybody. There's no way. When it comes to, you guys can see, when I talk to somebody, no, Steph changes to a different person. You know, there's a difference to talking to a freaking camera. This isn't real. I don't know what the frack I'm doing. I'm just saying what I think. When you talk to someone else, it's a real person. Everything changes in your emotional intelligence. Romaine lettuce is low in oxalate. That is true, but I'm just sort of over all of the plants right now. I'm just sort of over it. Doing carnivore is the best shite ever. Keto version of carnivore with an avocado. Y'all don't even know it's the best shite ever.
A lot of people are asking what are the best vegetables to eat on keto diet, like I've seen.
If you're going to do keto omnivore with less toxins, it would be romaine lettuce, it would be cauliflower, then cabbage, then broccoli, okay? Boom, 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 boom. You keep going into higher territory and asparagus. When you get to Brussels sprouts and green beans, these are all considered ketogenic. Now, zucchini is, first of all, zucchini just has too many carbohydrates. You would have to mix zucchini with cauliflower. You just can have a bowl of zucchini because you won't adapt. Let me see. I'm 5'3", same league. Okay, cool. Yeah, stopped. What about sugar? It's nothing but death. Yeah, sugar is, I mean, look, you guys, I did a sort of live roundtable talk at Bart K's channel, and there was a keto expert, and he was like, oh, I eat sugar every day, you're still in ketosis. I'm like, I'm straight up like, no, you're not. That's ridiculous. You know, some guy who just came around 2 seconds ago. And, you know, you have to, when you're giving advice, for me, I'm different. When I give, I told Dr. Berg in the beginning of this, I told him in the beginning of the interview, I'm afraid of hurting people. So I'm very conservative. And because of my conservatism, I don't make a lot of money. I just can't. I can't. The first person that had to go to the hospital like friggin' 10 years ago scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh, that freaked me out. I was like, oh no, I'm going to be very, very, very conservative. Thank you for answering on vegetables. You need to get Matt Blackburn on for a debate. I don't really want to. Y'all, you guys know I got a big mouth. If I really wanted to go hard and debate somebody, I would really tear their ass up. I don't feel like it anymore. Love you, Stephanie. Keep doing what you're doing. Agree about Dr. Berg. I feel the same about him. Nice guy. And as you guys, you heard him in his own words. he's like, you can take what I say or you don't. He didn't have answers for a lot of stuff, but he doesn't coach people every day. I do. Every freaking day. You know, I've done over 3,000 people. Y'all found me in the beginning. Then I disappeared because I didn't clickbait, because I didn't monetize my videos. It ruined my business. Like, I was like, oh. And I was like, I refuse to monetize my videos. I refuse to be a sellout. But then YouTube dropped me on promoting my videos. I was like, are you kidding? I have to put ads on my videos and I have to clickbait everything, or else nobody will even see what I'm trying to teach people. So my poop isn't the same on keto. It's 25% of what it used to be. So typically, if your poop isn't the same, dare I say gallbladder issues or leaky gut, you could be eating monofoods on keto. And here's where like a consultation would really come into play, because how I am in a consultation is how I was with Dr. Berg. There's no way I'm going to be hyper and like, you know, yo, that's just freaking fracked up. I'm not going to be like that. Garlic is fine. No, unfortunately, garlic is another high anti-nutrient food. Be careful with it. And I would test. A lot of things are testing. So I'll tell people eat avocados for 3 days because they're high histamine. Avocado is high histamine. Spinach is high histamine, high oxalate. Cinnamon is high histamine. Lemon is high histamine. Apple cider vinegar is high histamine. Sauerkraut is high histamine. He was like, eat sauerkraut. I'm like, no, if I ate sauerkraut, my stomach would blow up. And inflammation means you're not healing. You're not adapting. Great live chat. Curious what your zodiac sign is. I'm a Virgo. Stephanie, fatty pasteurized meats and organ meats are what boost your immune. Yes, we didn't even talk about organ meats because I don't think he really eats it. Like, yo, I'm eating heart, I'm eating liver, I'm eating kidney, I'm eating all the colostrum. There are so many things that I wanted to talk about with him, but he's not the person. Right? I have to talk about those subjects for someone who's into those subjects. Otherwise, if I pressed him, I'd look like a jerk. And I'm already looking like a jerk anyway. You guys are like, oh my God, she's so narcissistic. No, I'm not. If I was narcissistic, I'd literally make so much money off of you guys. And I am not making almost nothing. That's a big, huge stress in my brain. Okay, I'm going to book a consultation with you just to make sure I'm on the right track. You guys have been doing this for so long. And look at Carnivore Yogi is the best example. She did a consultation with me the next day. Her body changed 100%. She does a video on it. She didn't really say that I told her what to do, but it was me. It was me who showed her your electrolyte balance is off. You're really dehydrated. It's affecting your kidneys. You need to do this. Stop eating the 2 pounds of beef. Up your fat. Eat. We talked about her schedule, and I told her what type of electrolytes to take, and instantly she lost 10 pounds of water that her body was holding on because her electrolytes were so bad. So I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing at this point, because talking to people is everything. Reading a study is nothing. When you talk to people and you see thyroid, that's why I was asking him, what about the hair falling out? He's like, the Greek guy's like waving the door because there's so much hot. Are you farting?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot.
After 2 hours of live stream.
I know. Hot. As he says, hot in here. No, not yet. Love that. You speak your mind. Thank you. Yes, reducing salt. So sodium is about 6 grams. That's a teaspoon. You spread it throughout the day. You guys eat it if you can. If you guys have problems with your gut and you're not absorbing and that sodium potassium balance is off, eat it with protein. One guy, he's like, I eat salt and I feel like I'm going to die because he destroyed his cells and the sodium potassium pump from doing carnivore for 16 months, and he didn't do it the right way and he was eating a lot of beef. So what happened? These idiots, oops, old Stephanie popped out again. I called people idiots who are telling you to eat 2 pounds of beef, damaging the kidneys because your electrolytes are off. Low water. They need to learn that you dump a lot of water via the kidneys. He did say you drop a lot of water. That puts pressure on the kidneys, so then when you do eat the 2 pounds of beef, you start damaging your kidneys. It's not meat that damages your kidneys, it's the imbalance of electrolytes and a poor liver function. Do you think that some healthy people shouldn't be ketogenic and better off? Hell no, Predator. Keto is the shite. The problem isn't that people need to eat carbs. I did well on carbs and I did even better on keto. It's always the application of it. In the wild would be ketotic all the time? No. And that is why people like me today, that's the reason why I won't cheat at all. I want to be my own N=1 experiment, and I've got a lot of people who've been working with me for about 6 years now, right there with me, and we're all our N=1 experiment. You guys, I'm freaking almost 53, okay? Almost 53. Somebody was like, oh, your neck is not saggy, and your chest. It started in my late 30s, even with brown skin. My mom made comments on it. She's like, you got wrinkles on your chest. I was like, I do? Yes, I did. Gone. Right? He said fasting with the eyes. Okay. But retinol. Vitamin A from retinol from liver made me also go like this, reading things. Within 3 months, my eyes start to correct back to 20/20 because of the retinol. That makes sense, right? Vitamin A for the eyes. Fasting for the eyesight. When people are having an inflammatory reaction, their A1C rises and their hair's falling out. I don't know about that. It depends on the person. Susan, what was it? Do you think keto will help with vitamin D? What is that? Can you go back? Just go, guys. I can't even see this stuff. What? Where is it? How do you get your electrolytes straight out? I'll talk about it in a second. Like Carnivore Yogi. I straighten her electrolytes out. FYI. Sorry, a little egocentric moment there. It happens. Do ketones feed? No, that is a lie. Okay, that's another theory, a lie floating around that started 2 years ago that ketones feed candida. It's because they don't understand. People get their macros wrong, have a candida rash die-off and a weak gut wall, and nobody's talking about the freaking gut wall. What foods are you eating? You eating a bunch of cheese? You're having a bunch of cheese, and then they're wondering, they're thinking that it's feeding the candida when it's the damn cheese, which is a freaking fungus. Most people have candida overgrowth. Why would you eat cheese? It's a mold. Sorry, that's Stephanie's sarcasm coming in back in. Sorry to admit that I love you and completely infatuated by I really just started alternate day fasting. Okay, thank you, Brian. Don't fast. Don't do that. Look, I'm in my 50s, Brian. Just don't. You don't need to fast, especially in today's time when people have broken metabolism. Eating food is gasoline to a car. You don't put gasoline in, you do a ketogenic protocol and your glycogen storage is low, you're going to start fracking yourself up and going into too much gluconeogenesis via the adrenals. And I know this because I've just worked with so many friggin' people, and like there's a lot of people in this chat who I've worked with who would tell you so. Do you take credit or do you help Carnivore? You should take credit. I should. It's hard though because she hasn't really said to people yet. You know, Stephanie did this. She's wonderful. She sent me messages today. Okay, she sent me messages today. Carnivore Yogi, she's a freaking another lovely person on in this whole community. And where is it? Carnivore Yogi. Oh, my earphones are on.
Thank you so much. I'm actually back on Instagram. I can't stay away. I did a weekend of meditation and just chilling out and relaxing.
That's enough. I don't want to play the whole thing because I don't want to take it. But she was not apologizing. She was saying thank you so much for helping her out and being a support. And she points people my direction all the time. In fact, a lot of people start following me because of her. So I'm so grateful for her. And maybe in the right time, she will actually credit me for, helping her with her electrolytes, or her keto journey. But she's learning. She hasn't been on the internet very long. And, people are criticizing her for saying that carnivore was making her sick. And I've told her many emails, don't listen to these people because they will get to you. And people are very critical of me and it gets to you. You're like, oh my God, they don't like me. I'm trying so hard to make everybody happy. And you can't if you're making everybody happy, you're doing something wrong. Fungus, you should just answer my question about what? Cordyceps being keto friendly done. Are you talking to someone else? I'm not sure. Eat a lot more butter is the answer to all your questions. If you don't have a histamine response to it, some people can't do butter. Some people can't do ghee. Some people can only do tallow. And you have to experiment to find which ones that you're reacting to. And nobody in the keto or carnivore fasting movement is talking about we all have them. I'm sorry. I'm in great shape. I'm almost 53 years old. I'm in freaking strong as an ox, and I have problems. We all do. So when people say, but blah, 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 did carnivore for 15 years and she's great. Nobody's great. They're all liars. Nobody is great every day. Let's keep it real, fam, okay? Nobody is great every day, and people go through their immune system tanks. They do stuff where they start to have bloats or gas or tired. Everyone, okay? Not yet. She hasn't credited me yet, but she probably will. But she has really, really referred me to people. You know, people will contact her and email her and DM her and will be like, hey, you know, and she'll be like, go to Steph. So I really appreciate her doing that. She even said that in the messages. So Carnivore Yogi is such a wonderful person. She's another person that I read. That's the reason why we connect, right? And she's super awesome. So hopefully in time, you know, but she's learning. Being on the internet is a freaking weird space. You're not yourself, you guys. You're just not. I feel tired at the same time despite taking my electrolytes. You're not doing it the right way. Don't take electrolyte blends. They will mess you up. They all use potassium chloride, magnesium chloride. No, don't do that. I also drink water with Himalayans, pink salt. Multivitamins are poisonous. So what you want to do is take liver. Liver is your very best multivitamin. You can take 1 to 2 ounces every single day. I take an ounce. That's all I need. It's my multivitamin. I don't have to deal with the binders, chemicals, and the chelating factors that are toxic to the liver. Get rid of it. And you have to have your potassium and sodium exactly in balance because those two must work together. You do a teaspoon of salt and your potassium would be, if you did citrate in supplemental form, which I don't like, you would do a couple little drops of it, be 275 milligrams, like with food, slow down digestion, 3 times a day to get you towards 1,000, and then you would get like meat broth and some in salt. But if you're eating avocado, see, the 4,700 milligrams of potassium is absolutely ludicrous. You don't eat 4,700 milligrams of potassium with a teaspoon of salt. That's a problem. That's way too much potassium. You might start swelling. I don't like anyone who sells the electrolyte blends because they always use stuff that is so toxic. Magnesium glycinate, right? You can get calcium from fish bones. Dare I say calcium from eggshells for the very short term, and then if you can't find you can get desiccated fish bones or chicken bones. That's calcium, right? And then you're gonna take an avocado if you don't have a latex allergy. If you do, and you're doing carnivore, you're fracked up. You gotta take potassium citrate. Some people react to the citrate because of their histamine. So you just started ancestral supplements, beef, organs, exciting. So that's a blend of all of them. So there's ancestral supplements. So I have a discount. It's not through Amazon because they won't make any money. It's a double discount. How are they gonna make money if it's like marked down too low? So it's through their website. Supplement vitamin, don't. Vitamin, why? You don't need to. You can get brain, right? You can get butter. You can, if you don't have a whey and casein sensitivity, butter, egg yolks, if you don't have a yolk sensitivity. These are all high histamine foods, unfortunately, yolks and butter. If you don't have a sensitivity to these foods, or if you can do fat-soluble vitamins like lard, tallow, they all have vitamin D in it. Brain has a lot of vitamin D in it. And I forgot the other question. Great guy's not here to help me with the chats. They're going too fast. Having gallbladder pain, ultrasound, yeah. So you can do an ultrasound and it's not showing up anything. You probably have sludge. So what you need to do is get ox bile salts and probably betaine HCl and start under the recommended dose with food. And eat slow, because if you're eating fast, it's like overwhelms the stomach and the gallbladder. Lauren Barnes, asthma can be low magnesium. Try doctor's best high absorption magnesium. Not if it's not glycinate, don't do it. Unless I don't like you guys giving advice to other people unless I know it's safe. I think she's mentioned your name once. She mainly just says that she worked with a coach and listened to your website. You know? think about this. Dr. Berg friggin' invited me to Maryland. Like, that's pretty high promoting. Yeah, and he knows that I've been criticizing hard. He knows. He's still inviting me. I still feel weird. Yeah, the Greek guy's been on his version of keto because if I try to tell him how to do it right, I'm like his wife and he gets irritated. But I'm glad he looks slimmer. Then don't live stream. What are you talking about? No, stop telling me what to do. That's the problem. People always telling you what to do. Just let me be me. You do you, I'll do me. Can you do a video focusing on exercise while keto adapting? Absolutely. Does HIIT really speed up? No, that's all a lie. See, this is all lies. Lies. Lies, lies, lies. Yeah, Thompson twins. Only my generation knows that. No. Okay, HIIT training will completely skyrocket your blood sugar. You gotta realize people are coming to these diets with damage, right? They have high insulin. They have high A1C. They have their insulin's high. You intermittent fast, you think it's gonna drop your insulin? It does it for the short term and then it rebounds. I know that because I've worked with so many people where it rebounds. Their A1C starts climbing and then they stay insulin resistant. I can't with it. Don't do HIIT training. Do time under tension resistance training. Control your breath. It's like circadian rhythm, timing of your food, exercise, type of exercise, the strength of your gut wall, your body fat percentage, women with menstrual cycle issues, thyroid. Like there are so many moving parts nobody ever talks about. They make it sound so easy. And don't even get me started on like liver, kidney function, gallbladder, and like why are you guys eating cheese when you have candida? We all have it. Come on, it's like the coronavirus all attacking our cells. And hell yeah! T-Roz is like, lies, 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 yeah. Okay, what do you suggest for zinc and copper? Liver, because shellfish is just even higher in carbs. Shellfish has bacteria, and a lot of people do carnivore because they can't deal with the bacteria, so do liver. Liver's like the best, brah. The best is low-fat, safe on keto. It will damage your thyroid. You want your hair to fall out and have your libido drop? Do low-fat on keto and not adapt and completely destroy your metabolism. Sorry, I'm being a little sarcastic, but it's so me. Carter, you gives me a recent video. Oh, good. Oh, that's awesome. Glad she did. She did. I don't know. I'm not watching her videos. We just stay in contact offline, and she's being awesome to me offline. So I don't know. This is the thing. You respond to the chat, you get yourself in trouble, right? I need to be quiet sometimes. Hi, Stephanie. How do you stop cheese addiction? Just stop eating it. You're humbling and down to earth. We love you. Thank you. I am, at least you guys, I am real. Y'all could do anything and I'll respond in a real way. I'm not going to be like, I'll be real. Like, he didn't, okay, it was Dr. Berg's, it was his suggestion to do a debate, like a safe debate. But before we started, he wasn't really comfortable with it. And I'm like, I'm not trying to make him feel uncomfortable on my channel. Even if I don't agree with somebody, I'm not trying to make them feel uncomfortable because you guys know I'm a freaking tiger. I'll eat a bitch. I will freaking demolish somebody in a real debate. And I don't feel like doing it. Like, my horse has changed me, you guys. Y'all know that the old Stephanie was popping off. Like, I don't even care anymore. Magnesium glycinate is amazing. Exactly. Completely eliminated my migraines. Exactly. It's so good for migraines. Yeah. And low fat will keep you starved. Exactly. Greek guy, where are you? You're not helping. Copper is too high. Do you have leaky guts?
Everything is okay.
Yeah.
In 3 minutes, I'm pressing play and I'm coming back.
I don't want to go, like, I want to finish soon. Just 3 minutes? How long will you be back? You can leave the door open, getting hot.
Yeah, in 5 minutes I'll be back.
Okay. This is a recommended brand for magnesium glycinate. No, I don't like to recommend brands because those people start adding like binders and fillers that weren't there the year, but I learned that years ago. And they're like, you said to take this. So just do an Amazon, do a friggin' review, and it's perfect. Thank you, Amazon, for having reviews. That's how I found ancestral supplements. Right? First I was taking desiccated kidney for histamine intolerance, and when I took thymus, y'all, people who just started following me don't know this, but like maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I was having, my apartment building was cockroach infested. And it had been cockroach infested for a few years. So they were biting me, and I wasn't reacting. And then slowly I started reacting. These cockroach bites got huge. And I was like, whew, it's hot in here. It's like 88 degrees. Here's the air conditioning turned off. And the thing is, when this stupid air conditioning, when you turn it on, it'll blast too high. So there's no middle. But I took the kidney and it started helping. But when I took the thymus, goat thymus, we're talking in weeks, these welts just went poof. And then I started talking about ancestral, like, oh my God, this is so amazing. You guys got to try this. And they heard me talking about it, and then they came to me. And I've had bazillion people come to me in the past trying to do affiliate programs. I'm like, nope. Go away. You're annoying me. Go away. These people, I was like, yes. So yes, thymus is really good for, so true about it, about HIIT, weight work, outs, meditation, walking. That's all I can manage. And that's the thing. Dr. Berg and I didn't have enough time, or I felt uncomfortable to go, but like, what if you have adrenal insufficiencies? What if you have Addison's? What if you're tired all the time? A lot of people are friggin' going through adrenal dysfunction. They have inverted cortisol. They're wired at night, tired in the morning, tired all day long. They have hypoglycemia, reactive hypoglycemia. They have postprandial hypoglycemia after they eat. And you're gonna fast? I can't with it. Let me see, cockroach, yeah, they bite. I didn't know they bit, but they kept biting. My immune system couldn't take, I was being bitten so much that eventually those welts, do you remember that Greek guy I was showing you the big welts? They're all gone now, right?
Let
you can go on camera now.
Face because people hasn't seen me.
I know, right?
For a long time.
Hi!
Like up the stream, God.
Yes!
Anyway.
What were we going to say about the bites? So you saw them.
Horrific.
Right? And then I had like a rash on my nose. Yeah. That's all gone now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was having a really bad histamine reaction.
And your forehead is getting way better.
That's for the melasma though.
Yeah.
That's something else. I swear that's for magnesium deficiency. Okay, thanks for the comment, Deborah. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Deborah. I loved it. Y'all gotta give Deborah some love. She's just so amazing. Let's see. Thanks for your comment. Oh yeah, I read that. New subby Stephanie. Yay! 50 and on 20. Wait, I'm 50 on the 25th powder. Am I reading that wrong?
Oh, new subby Stephanie.
I read that already. Jeez.
I'm 50 on the 25th. Oh, she's 50 on the 25th of March. So happy birthday in 20 days or?
Oh, but she wrote powder. Did you mean power? Collagen? No, am I reading the wrong one? I'm reading. Oh, you are so inspiring. Oh, because its comments are moving. My brain can't, my eyes can't track it. We're moving. Oh, yes. In the 50 club, when I was doing videos a long time ago, I was like, yeah, we're in the 40 club. I'm like, I'm not in the 40 club anymore. Yes, thank you. Okay. Collagen powder.
Exactly.
What?
The comment that you made when I was moving the door. Are you farting?
He was like, because it was so hot in here. He was like waving the door. You know how people wave stuff when you fart?
It got a little bit stinky.
Okay. He has farted in here. That's why I asked. Okay, does keto help with vitamin D absorption? It can if you strengthen the gut wall. So keto carnivore would probably help with vitamin D absorption even better just by strengthening that gut wall so you're not losing vitamin D, which is why a lot of people are vitamin D deficient. Let me see, cook eggs sunny side up. Avocado is great if you don't have an egg allergy. 12 ounces of, that's too much meat. Please don't eat 12 inches of ribeye. Men only need to eat like 5-6 ounces max. Women, 3 to 3.5. Please don't eat all that meat. Your body can't use all that. Everybody knows you can't synthesize more than 22 grams of protein in total anyway, so don't do that. But otherwise, looks good. So bathe and eat like 3 tablespoons of fat on the plate. He said, fat makes you absorb minerals less. I was like, what you taught? What? That's no. And people are like, oh, Stephanie recommends 200 grams of fat. I'm like, oh, y'all are so confused. No, it doesn't do that. There's no freaking science of anything that fat. The only thing that would happen if you had butter and you had a histamine response and it's opening up the gut wall, that's when you can't absorb the minerals. Fat doesn't stop absorption of minerals. Doesn't that sound weird, Greek guy?
Yeah.
Did you read that when somebody said that before?
About.
Somebody wrote in the chat.
Yeah.
No, he said that fat makes it so you can't absorb minerals. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah.
People are having different thoughts and ideas about
Dr. Gundry's the plant paradox guy. You know what's a paradox? Is the fact that he's like vegan, vegetarian. I can't with this. People are walking contradictions. I can't. That's what I think. He's got some great information. But when he said he was like vegetarian, vegan, I was like, what? Twilight Zone, I can't with this. Okay, what are your thoughts on using collagen powder? I used to promote it all the time until I found out it had oxalates in it. And it was like, had glutamate, and people are freaking getting headaches and histamine in response to it. Bone broth is high histamine. That's why I started having people eat meat broth. So there you go. My knee hurts. It's because I stood too long.
Yeah.
It's because I'm with Thunder. Thunder is such a huge horse that every time I come off of him, if I land wrong on my knee.
And let me get out of the way.
Okay, what do you wait? I've learned so much. You put Thunder up. Oh, this is my boyfriend. He's the horse I adopted and saved him from a horrible person. I hope you see this video, you horrible person. I could say his name, but I'm not going to. Okay, we learned so much tonight. Yes, Susan, that's what I'm talking about. This isn't even my big knowledgeable night where I'm like spitting the stuff out. Stephanie, do you think you would look older now if you had kept carbs? Oh yeah, I told you my chest started wrinkling. This chest just fabulous now. Look at that. Look at that. It was wrinkling before. Do you guys know how much fat I have? I eat, like, I'm not that lean, you guys. I'm like 13, 14% body fat. You can't really see, right? See right here? And the reason why I won't go leaner is because it's like, you get, you look so gaunt. Your skin, everything, you lose the fat and the dermis layers of your skin. I won't go leaner. Some people are like, you need to go leaner. I don't plan to look like an old rotten apple. Child. Okay, I'm in love with Thunder, right? He's such a great horse, you guys. You guys know I love that dang horse. When I moved to the new place, there's a woman, she's been a trainer for 10 years. She was like, this horse is very smart. She's like, and I've been working horse for 10 years, and he's like a teddy bear. He's obsessed with people. Horses are obsessed with horses. He's obsessed with people. Okay, how can I naturally bring out my hemoglobin and iron ferritin quickly with fibroids and heavy bleeding? Liver. I'm not even kidding. I used to have that issue with heavy bleeding too. Liver, the shite. Liver, if you're not eating liver or oysters, but you know, it's the whole seafood, shellfish thing.
Seashell.
It's about a seashell. How can I naturally bring Thunder is a very beautiful horse. He's got one very, very blue eye. He's brown eye. He look, one half of his face is brown with a blue eye. The other face is half is white with a brown eye. It's very weird. Women are supposed to not wait. Women are not supposed to be lean, and then we look like men. No, we don't look like men. No woman's ever gonna look like a man lean. But it's unhealthy.
Except if it's taking steroids and other
yeah, I mean, you guys, I'm really muscular. Some people are like, I hate muscular women look like men. I mean, I'm freaking muscular, you guys. I'm muscular, but why I wore this top, I don't know. Because it's one of those things where you strap it like that. I thought I would look a little bit more professional instead of my like workout top. Let's see here.
Oh, that's a nice one.
What?
Predator has a question.
Predator, if people wake up at night with high heart rate, this is a great question, a little nausea because of gallbladder, what would you recommend electrolytes?
Are not available, are not an issue.
A couple things can make you have heart palps. Your thyroid can make you have benign heart palps, but you could be malabsorptive and not absorbing your electrolytes. Headache is a sign of hypoglycemia. Yes, recently I had headaches, but it could be due to low magnesium, drop of electrolytes. Probably that. It's not just salt, it's sodium, it's salt, potassium balance. They must be perfectly and succinct or you're going to have headaches or heart palps. I mentioned that it can be 1 or 2 ounces of liver a day as a multivitamin, not as a food group, even though I can eat liver all day. I love it. Magnesium bicarbonate is the most bioavailable, but it's also very toxic. Bicarbonates are not good for the kidneys, so take glycinate. If people wake... No, I read that. What?
Sorry.
Why don't men look like... Wait. Why don't men? Because we have too many xenoestrogens. Wait, I gotta read that. That's a good one. That's a lot. Where is it? Come on, Greek guy.
I'm searching for it.
You messed it up.
I know. Trying to unmess it. Magnesium carbonate, we need to have some fat in our bodies. James. Yeah. Love that.
Rotten apple funny. So funny, I know.
Which exercise do you use? I want to.
It's so funny when he talks fast with a friggin' Greek accent.
Is fresh pork a histamine food? Some sources say yes, but I wonder if that was determined based on a conventionally raised animal.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because a lot of pork it's hard to find pastured pork. When I went to Ecuador, they were everywhere. I was like, oh, it's a pastured pig. I've never seen one before. Yeah, it could be due to the corn. I'm not gonna lie. What do you think about eating pork rinds? Spike your blood sugar. I mean, look, if you're on a plane and my knee hurts so much. If you're on a plane, I have to get off of it because I'm gonna see thunder tomorrow. If you're on a plane or on a road trip, you have a job and you don't have time. Yes, but not for the daily, because they'll spike your blood sugar. Obviously, this is not from good companies and all this kind of stuff. How do you fix malabsorption? It's leaky gut. Carnivore, keto, carnivore, stuff's version of it. Seal the gut wall, diaphragmatic breathing, going to bed early, following a circadian rhythm, getting your stress down, finding out foods that I have to take. I have it, and I have these pants on, and I'm not going to be my underwear around you.
I thought we could do it live. Can you be in your underwear?
No, I'm going to be my live underwear.
Okay.
I'm going to show you. See, he's a physical therapist. He has a degree in it. What were you going to do?
We're going to tape her leg.
I have
over
tape on
here.
it. I bought that tape.
Oh.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, because I was so impressed.
Then I have to send you the video.
Show me how to do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a video of him taping me, and I was like, this stuff's not gonna work, but it worked.
Yeah.
It really did work, McAllister. Okay. If you have low vitamin D, pharmacy, doctor, just totally don't. You can do krill oil. You can do brain. You can do if you can handle butter, and don't do vitamin D supplements, and get a vitamin D3 lamp if you live in a cold climate. I'm like super tan right now, you guys. People are like, do black people tan? I get the dumbest questions sometimes. Look at that tan line from Thunder. That's a tan line. But not my forehead. My forehead's starting to, because I always wear a baseball cap, my forehead's starting to look like odd gray brown color. Okay, have you magnesium threonate is promising in the brain.
Magnesium,
but very expensive. I have to go and research it. Skeptical caveman. Thanks for the tip, though. I'm feeling really tired. Heavy mornings up. Awakening. Should I wait? Calm down, Stephanie. I'm feeling really tired and heavy in the mornings. Upon awakening, should we get up anyway, or stay in bed and get some more sleep? I don't know your schedule. I don't know if you're a third shift night worker. I know for people who've got insomnia, it's better to create a new circadian rhythm and force yourself to wake up even though you're tired. But if you typically sleep, then get your extra sleep and call it a day. Right? Don't buy an Amazon. Her code doesn't work there. Yes, you have to do ancestral supplements through their website, ancestralsupplements.com. And this company is a husband and wife, and the husband answers all emails. I mean, they're so sweet. I feel so good. I just want to link up with sweet people, like good-hearted, right? Just good-hearted. That's all. And, Dr. Berg is going to allow me to go to his event and speak my own opinion. So I feel grateful for that.
Yeah, I want to live stream that. That's why it was the question.
Oh, you want to come?
Are you going to...
You want to come?
Yeah, I wanted to live stream that.
But you know how it is on summits. People pay for videos and stuff like that, so they probably don't want to deal with that.
Okay. Anyway.
Love, Dr. Berg. How can I naturally bring up my hemoglobin and wait, I already read this. Oh, have you tried iron, Nat the Brat? Have you tired? Okay, read that.
Sorry, Steve, I have to go. It's okay.
Okay, it's okay, Deborah. Thank you. Greek guy will take over if anybody's trolling hard. When I love your
Simba Durio has. Do you consult minors or?
Yeah. Yes. I've worked with minors. I've worked with people with gastric bypass. I've worked with people with cancer, where the people are like, you're the cancer like guru, and I'm like, no, I'm not. How does one know they're getting electrolytes and magnesium balance? Oh, Yolanda, well, my body's getting tired. Take 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate at night. You can split it up 2 times a day. You can take 1 teaspoon of salt, Himalayan preferably, because Redmond's gray salt does not work, as I've learned. And take about 1,000 milligrams of potassium citrate if you're on a carnivore, can't handle citrate, or you can take 1 avocado a day. There, I did it.
Okay.
Eric?
Where's Eric?
You must be in my Instagram. Oh, Eric Berg?
Yeah.
He had to go. He's professional. I'm not. He had to
and
go.
we're having
he stayed longer than he stayed an hour, didn't he?
Yeah, longer than an hour. We were live streaming like 1.5 hours.
Yeah, he had to go, but I think he enjoyed himself because he told me before he only had a certain amount of time and he stayed longer. So that's good. How was the debate? Too bad I missed it. Watch the replay. It was great. It was chill. Y'all know I am not going to be aggressive. Look, what happens when you and I get into an argument? Do I turn into a biatch?
For me, I see you like a biatch, but you're not a biatch.
No, for real. Do I go, let's talk?
No. You're going like, let's talk.
Go on camera.
Yeah, let's go on camera.
What happens every time we hit something? What happens? What do I say?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually it's my fault, but anyway. Forget about it. Forget that I said that.
No, don't forget it. Everybody loves you, so you're fine. They hate me. You're good cop, I'm bad cop.
Yeah, and basically from my take on the Berg, on Dr. Berg
is... You on camera?
Yeah, my take on Dr. Berg is that he's very knowledgeable and he will be persuaded by Stephanie to stop intermittent fasting. I believe so.
He won't. His whole summit is intermittent fasting.
Yeah, and you will change it to not intermittent fasting.
I know, right?
The large titles in the end. What did you take from this summit? That I don't want to intermittent fasting anymore. That will be fun. That will be like, what?
I know.
Anyway.
Let's see. Probably oxalate dumping, watch salted north. Yeah. So oxalate dumping is very interesting. People stop the oxalate-rich foods overnight, and all of a sudden they start to get more pain in the joints, more stiffness, more pain, vulva pain, eyes itching. It's very weird. So sometimes people have to. Now, I stopped my oxalates overnight, and I didn't have any of that dumping effect. Knock on some wood. How can I naturally bring up my... Is that an old comment? Nat the Brat.
Oh, you didn't... You jumped into another question.
No, I said with liver. Nat the Brat.
Yeah.
Nat is sometimes so sweet, and then sometimes she's so bratty in my comment section on YouTube. But I love you, Nat the Brat. She'd be like... And then she'd be like, oh, you're the greatest, Stephanie. And I'll feel like all bipolar-ish. And Chrissy, Chrissy was coming hard at Dr. B.
Oh,
what?
Chrissy, sorry I blocked you, but yeah, I know you are against it because he harmed you, but...
I mean, what am I going to go say that to his face? I can't. I've already said it. You guys know I've criticized him I've criticized him hard over I don't know, 6 years.
Okay.
I criticize him hard, but I always said he seems like a nice guy. I think I've always said that. His whole income is based on intermittent fasting and oxalate, and will never stop recommending it. Now, yeah, I mean, that's his thing. He comes up with these ideas and these concepts, and in his mind, I think he feels like, this is a cool thing. Everybody promotes and talks about it, and, the autophagy and cellular cleanup, and everyone's like, it's the trend and it's the hype. But when I actually go and do these consultations, and they're hard, you guys, you get worn out. I go deep with people. I'm not on the surface. Oh, here's some generic diet. No, it's custom to the second you open your eye, bink, to the second you go to bed. We reformulate your entire life. And it's hard to do that every freaking day.
Gina.
What is she saying?
The last comment.
I know. It's over now. And you have to give me credit for trying to be a better person, Gina. I didn't know him. You know? Sometimes when like, you talking smack, y'all talk smack in the office with your coworkers, at church and family members. Y'all better not get on my case. I'm not the only one who does this stuff.
Okay.
What?
That's a nice question.
If people can't eat pure butter, tallow, or lard because of vomiting reflex, you take a toothbrush. Take a toothbrush if you have a gag response. Some people just have a gag response to fat. And brush the back of your tongue. It takes about 2 weeks. And you numb that muscle that clenches up. And that takes care of the gag response. I know that because I've done that to many people. All right, next question. Pooping isn't normal. Child Cindy, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you're doing carnivore. I don't know if it's your gallbladder. I don't know if it's leaky gut. I don't know if you're eating mono foods. I don't know if you're eating a bunch of butter. I don't know. But if you guys book a consultation, I can sell you a car and fix your diet. I also have a course page. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, let me put your...
Nobody's going to watch a video this long anyway.
Anyway.
To find out why is 24, 36, and 48-hour fasting so popular? Because people are obsessed with weight loss. It's the new anorexia. Didn't you know that? It's just anorexia. That's all it is.
Another way...
No, it's not, Danielle. Fasting is so stupid. It's dumb. It's hurting people's health. And be careful. Don't say it's the best thing ever when, like, every single person has health issues. And sometimes people don't even recognize they're having... I'm like, you know you're getting dark circles under your eyes and it's getting swollen. And they have electrolyte problems. Oh, that's why my legs are swollen more than normal. I had a woman yesterday. She's like, my legs are swollen. Why? And I'm like, because your electrolytes are off fasting. Didn't catch Dr. Burrell. I have to watch him on the replay. Stephanie, I'm new to subscribe to your channel. Thanks for the great interview with Dr. Berg and your excellent Q&A. Thank you. Like I said, we all have different subjects. Don't believe me. Don't believe Dr. Berg. Don't believe Thomas DeLauer. Don't believe this person and that person and all these freaking people yakking on the internet, including myself. Learn about your existing health. You might be hypoglycemic. You cannot tell somebody who's chronically hypoglycemic to fast because not only will their electrolytes tank, they can actually damage their heart. They will
die.
They can die. Like you can't be hypoglycemic and fast. I don't get it. Why don't people say that?
Well, let me tell you a little story. So, a friend of mine...
Don't forget to hit those questions I want to hit too.
Yeah.
Because his stories are never little.
Well, it's a little story. Okay. A friend of mine who had anorexia, that means fasting. Okay? Anorexia
1 meal a day.
You put your thumb and you eat and...
That's bulimia.
Well... That's what she's doing.
Okay.
Anyway, she died of a heart attack. Why? The doctor says electrolytes. The electrolytes fucked up her heart. And she died. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
By the way.
That's a good story. And Chrissy said she did fasting for the autophagy and telomeres. But she said she got sick too.
Yep.
Yeah. You're right. You guys got to understand that body's very delicate. Everything you put in your mouth, on your skin, how you breathe, how you sit. You can sit the wrong way and clog up the gallbladder because the biliary system gets clogged up because of estrogen dominance. Men don't even know this kind of stuff. They don't think like that. Men don't really, they don't think about xenoestrogens and estrogen dominance and liver and kidney and gallbladder biliary system getting clogged through estrogen dominance. That's why more women have these issues with their gallbladder than men do. Like, you can't mess around with your body. Everything matters. Okay, do any of the liver... Wait. Anything other than liver and ribeye, avocado do you eat are doing correctly? For carnivore, there's pork, there's lamb, there's elk, there's bison, there's freaking fish. If you don't have a histamine 2 reaction to it, there's chicken heart. There's a ton of stuff. I listen to a lot of YouTubers on health carnivore fasting, but so far I take what I think is logical and good for me. Exactly. Slim lard. Slim Land is pretty cool though. I don't know who that is, so. Now the fasting is bull crap. And you know, you guys sometimes will believe in your narrative. It fits what you want to believe. You want to believe that fasting is good. You want to believe that, you know, everybody's obsessed with weight. Okay? They are. They just are. So there's a lot of confirmation bias, because if you get step on a scale and you've lost weight fasting, you're going to think it's the best thing ever. But you're not going to factor in that you're freaking tired and moody and menopausal and menstrual cycle and blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, you read out loud and answer my fasting questions. Thank you so much. I need to stop my anorexia. Oh, Brian? Is it a dude?
Yeah, Brian Walker.
Okay, cool. Seriously, how do you prepare liver? You can put it in a blender and throw it with some ground beef and make a burger. You barely taste it. I made a video where people are like, oh my God, you're taking all the iron out. Well, iron makes it taste, for people, it tastes bad. I love it. And you run a filter water, run hot water over it. It'll drain the iron out, and then pan sear it real quick. You can just eat it raw with butter. Huh?
I eat my liver with blood.
Or you can make frozen liver pills and just swallow it whole with a glass of water. I was fasting for autophagy and telomeres to be the best version. But they can't measure autophagy. It's such bullcrap. Even Mike Mutzel, who's the freaking fasting guru, is like, you can't measure it. It's just a general, it's like the tooth fairy, autophagy. It's a theory that doesn't work in the modern human, because people have a damaged thyroid, they have adrenal they have inverted cortisol. It just doesn't work.
All I can say is that you will listen to that at this summit, because the last person that is wrote about a book about autophagy. So you will listen all about this on this summit.
Yeah, but I won't be talking about it.
And then this summit is going to be destroyed by Stephanie.
No, it's not. Okay.
Well, destroyed.
My friggin' talk will be, love the course page, best decision I ever made. A consultation is next. Woohoo! Thank you, Sherry B. You guys, I'm not hyper in a consultation. I just get overwhelmed in live streams. I keep thinking about how much I have to do when I get home, and I have to ride my bike home, and it's dark now. He knows I hate riding my bike home, and I don't drive here because there's no parking, and they make you pay $20 for parking in a stupid neighborhood. So I ride my bike, and then I gotta ride home.
Well,
I even went to Trader Joe's before.
You're living south of Liberate Hollywood, so it's downhill.
You guys, look! I went to Trader Joe's before.
Hey,
you guys want to see what I bought?
Trader Joe's doesn't pay us.
One.
You have to cover the logo.
Oh crap!
I'm just messing with you.
No, sometimes they don't like it.
Yeah.
So I got some Kerrygold. Can't see because it's on a green screen.
Yeah, Kerrygold is green.
Look, you guys, I got because I was like, I don't even have time to go to the store. I'll have to go home and work. I got some avocado for the potassium. Look, you guys, I'm showing you my meals. Everybody's like, we want to see what you eat. I got a bunch of Kerrygold. It's melting in this hot room. And I got some pork loin. Pigs aren't pastured in America, so it is what it is. I got some pork loin. I was craving it. And I got some butter, and I got avocado. I got 6 packages of Kerrygold butter. And it's melting because this room is hot. Okay, why are there so many long-term carnivores that are eating 2 pounds of meat a day and thriving? They're not thriving, they're lying. This is where people get mad at me. People lie. Mm-hmm. People lie. I developed kidney crystals, and I was like, my kidneys started hurting. Remember? I was telling you my kidneys were hurting before?
I don't think that they lie. Well, it's not a lie.
They're withholding the truth.
Each one of us, we are built to stand by our beliefs.
Thank you.
So if I make a belief, I tend to stand by it, even if it's wrong. And when somebody is telling me you're wrong, I say, what are you talking about? I'm right, you're wrong.
You mean like your lighting?
Immediately, yeah.
Like the lighting?
Yeah, about the lighting, I'm right, you're wrong. Period.
You get so mad when I'm like, I don't like the lighting. But yeah, people will defend their narrative to the end of time. So if I were to press Dr. Berg about fasting and thyroid and all this kind of stuff, it would get uncomfortable. So if I were to press this person who's done carnivore for 15 or 16 years, I'd literally crumble them. I'd smash them. Because I just know so much. I see so many people have health issues that they may not even recognize a health problem. I've done keto for years. Why did I start getting welts from cockroach bites? That's histamine. You know what I mean? And I could be like, keto omnivore is the best diet ever. And then carnivore came along, and I was like, I thought carnivore was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard of in my life. I was like, this is stupid. And now I'm like, it's the best thing ever. You know, people believe in their narrative, and they will tell you, I'm thriving. Bull crap. That's such nonsense. I can't with this. Life throws us friggin' red herrings all the time and messes us up. My knee hurts right now. I had to sit down because my knee has been killing me for 2 weeks. And I could just lie and say that keto helps all the inflammation in my body and I've got no knee pain. Liar. We will interview a 2-pound meat a day carnivore. I don't really. You guys, I'm so tired, to be honest.
I have
really
a question.
hate to do the interviews.
I have a question to the public because I see.
What's your question? People hate when I make fun of your accent.
A question
Too bad.
to the public.
Yes.
Why you're seeking to have a confrontation live?
Because it's fun. It's popcorn. But then if I confront people, they're like, "She's so mean. She's so meh."
So.
And I'm actually really, really empathetic towards people. How I am in a live and how I am with somebody in person, it's not even the same person that I am.
And another thing, one second, another thing is that Stephanie, as said before, like 15 minutes before, she said, don't listen to anybody at all. You get your informations, you apply them to your body, and you see, if that works for me, yeah, continue and listen more, but always be skeptical of what you're listening.
Everybody,
with all this false information and unfortunately fake news
and bias, confirmation bias. You're like just confirming your own moray. That's why vegans can be like, it's the best ever, you know. And these are some highly educated people. You can't. I'm on veganism. I'm thriving. You're a liar. We all know that. Hi, Steph. Hi, Corinna. Should fingernail tips be white or clear? You could be mineral deficient. That's the thing with people eating so much beef. You're not getting your minerals in. Thank you, Nicoletta. I don't know how they say your name. And
Nicoletta.
That's Greek?
Yeah.
What did she say?
And she read, "Se agapame Stephanie, Theara, we love you."
Aww.
That means we love you, Stephanie. You're a goddess.
Aww, thank you, Nicoletta. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, Nicoletta. And all the other Greeks. By the way, in the summit there is a Greek guy, apparently.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. And yeah, you will see it on the video.
You guys, I can make fun of his accent because I lived in Sweden, okay? So jag pratar svenska ibland. Och när jag pratar svenska ibland, jag låter lite amerikansk när jag pratar. People used to make fun of me all the time. Y'all guys get triggered too easy. Me, he's my bestie.
Yeah.
Right? So we make fun of each other all the time.
I can tell her, "Tis φτιάξω το μπουγαδοκόφινο," and she will not get mad.
Gamizute.
No. Yeah.
Paracolo. It said 4,700 milligrams of potassium necessary. No, I think that will create a lot of swelling problems, to be honest. These are recommended, RDA values. They got that all wrong. The Food and Drug Administration. Skeptical cavemen, all plants, oils degrade. Yes, they do. So there's the answer. Wow, still live. I know, I gotta stop. I'm tired. Lymphatic drainage, dry brushing. Get your sodium potassium balance and drink enough water. Greek guy, are you still in ketosis or how do you feel?
I'm trying to keep myself in ketosis.
By eating nuts?
Yeah, because I need to put something in my...
Not nuts!
Not nuts?
Play with your nuts. Don't eat them.
Okay. Anyway, for example, my day to day, 10 o'clock I came over here. I ate breakfast. 10 o'clock I came over here. I had to prepare all the live stream. Then I had a meeting with the boss. Then I had to shoot some videos. Then I had to finish preparing and starting the live stream with Stephanie. And right now I'm here with Stephanie. And it's 6 o'clock.
He doesn't know if he's in ketosis. Well, he's been measuring your blood sugar.
Yeah.
He does well sometimes.
I am in ketosis, but sometimes in the morning, especially when I eat meat at night, last night, I get gluconeogenesis and I have like 94, 96. If I don't eat meat and I eat something fatty or nothing, then I'm 85, 81, 82, around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he's not in ketosis, but I think it depends. Like when he eats those nuts, if he tests his sugars, I bet you'd be wonky. Why does Nat the Brat keep asking about how to bring her hemoglobin up when I've said to eat liver like 4 times? Race stores? I don't know.
Okay, let me. Maybe she can't listen to you. Read the next question. Nat the Brat. Eat liver.
Yes, liver.
Here you go.
Patricia, why you never talk? Wait, why?
Why you never talk about hyperglycemia and how to lower it?
I talk about it all the time. I mentioned it like 20 times in this live stream.
Not hyper.
Oh, hyperglycemia.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean insulin resistance? Oh, man, all my videos are about that.
No.
Okay. I need to know more. What is it? Pacifico Bernardo. I don't know what your diet's like. You know, if you're having insulin resistance, I don't know if you're eating carbs. I don't know if you're doing low carb. I don't know if you're eating every couple of hours. I don't know how you're got it. I don't know if you're sleeping.
That's interesting.
Oxalate dumping. My husband is a skin dumper and he'll get rashes on his. Yeah. So sometimes a rash will appear because of oxalate dumpage. That's if when you go carnivore or if you go from high oxalates to low. Logically speaking, it's not normal to always be eating and drinking. I don't know what she's talking about. Okay. You know, I'm getting tired. I'm getting cranky. This is where I start getting cranky because I've done this for how many hours now?
Well, in 3.5 minutes, we have 3 hours.
Weird.
So in 3.5 minutes, the life ends. Not the live. The live ends, not the life.
Look at this.
Although with this coronavirus, we're going to
look
get...
what Density Diaz's comment says.
Where is she? Little Density. Where?
Density Diaz.
Oh, Density Diaz. Because she's a brat. Yeah. Okay.
Not the brat. Fibers are not the result of insulin resistance. I don't know what you told you that. It can be vitamin D deficiency. 40% of all women have fibroids. They're undetected or they're not pressing on nerves and things. A lot of women have fibroids. It's not just insulin resistance. It can be from hormones. I actually think it can be from mineral deficiencies. Deficiencies create the body and the endocrine system to get weird. Is everyone water good for electrolytes? No. Supplemental magnesium glycinate or malate. We've got potassium citrate and not bicarbonate or chloride, which is very toxic, those two, or an avocado and some, and Redmond's leaves, Redmond's I'm starting to find out doesn't have the mineral balance that Pakistani, Himalayan, and gray salt has. So Redmond's is not the best at all. Why are peanuts not good even if I'm not allergic? Because they're beans and they have phytic acid and they demineralize your body and they're just toxic. Get rid of them. Wake up with blood sugar of 130. That's diabetes. Goes down later in the day. It's way too high. That's not the Don's phenomenon. That is severe hypoglycemia or it's insulin resistance, unfortunately. Thank you for your answer, Stephanie. Hopefully in the future you will have some friendly debates with Paul Saladino and Chris Masterjohn. Chris Masterjohn gets, I think, a little bit. He'll get... See, the thing is with people who are like very sensitive, I know that I don't like to fight. People think I like to fight. Paul Saladino, I think, is someone I'd like to talk to. Chris Masterjohn's very smart, but a lot of everything he says is so guessing. He guesses everything in a very smart way. Drinking 2 liters of water a day has been very bloating. Should I cut it back? No! Hey, you got to figure out why your cells aren't absorbing water. I don't know if you're drinking. Are you sipping it like I am? You're supposed to sip that water throughout the day because when you guzzle it, the cells don't hydrate as well.
By the way, this glass of water has been here for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's wrong. I should have been drinking 3 of those at least.
Yeah. So.
And I'm talking, so I'm expelling water all the time. It's bad. That's why I'm getting a headache. And it got hot.
Oh.
It got hot in here, and I was talking, and I was getting a headache.
And now that we are in Predator, until you do that with the brush to rub and you don't have a gag reflex, until you do that, put your butter in tea, at least.
Or broth.
Yeah, or broth.
For the carnivore
even better.
people.
Yeah. It will go like
Fibroids. Use a castor oil pack. Really good. I don't know your diet. If I knew your diet, but the best way to start shrinking fibroids is using a castor oil pack with heat. That stuff works so good. People stop using it because it's a pain in the ass to put freaking thick, oily castor oil on your belly for an hour. But sweet tea, it works.
What's a good
I've got fibroids, you guys.
What's a good lunch to take to work? What you make?
I don't know if you're doing keto or keto carnivore, but make it anyway. And don't take salads, because salads, no.
Yeah.
Meat and some fat and an avocado. And don't eat 2 pounds of beef. That's so stupid.
Or educate your local chef. Go to the restaurant next time and say, I'm doing keto or whatever you're doing.
People can't afford no way. We're trying to get people to make their food.
Well, yeah.
You're the one that spends money on restaurants every day.
Yeah. What can I do?
Air fryer is the bomb, yo.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, BPA plastics. I'm like, no, it's not. But it's not BPA and it's ceramic. It's the shite. I'm gonna go home and use it the second I get home. I'm not even kidding. I got my butter melting in the bag and everything. This was awesome. Thank you, Stephanie and Greek Guy. Book my consult. That's what's up, Sherry B. Thank you, everyone. Eat the avocado if you don't have an avocado allergy. It's great for potassium. It's almost 1,000 milligrams with meat broth. You're good to go. There's also potassium in some of the meat. There's also potassium in beef heart. Book a consultation. Oops. Go to stephanieperson.com. You can't see it because he hasn't figured out how to put fonts you can see. You need to work on that. stephanieperson.com. Can't see it.
1 second.
My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic and my Facebook is Stephanie the Business Person. Back to keto omnivore. I have better results on blood sugar. Pacificos, because you're not having your macro. Thank you. That's better. And you can't see anything. Keto carnivore is amazing. I prefer it over keto omnivore. I just keep in the avocado for potassium. And if your blood sugars are crazy, you're probably eating too much beef, too little fat. I couldn't even go into macros with Dr. Berg because his brain probably doesn't work like that. But I work with clients every day, so it does work like that. And that's why in that video that you played, it's like, Stephanie Person, the keto consultant coach. You darn right. Okay, what kind of drip fry is it? It's what's it called? Ninja. Amazon. $99. Best video ever. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Jim. And I think we're done. Apple retracted their comment.
Yeah.
We were going to make videos, but I'm like cracked out right now. Should we do a couple real quick? We don't have any more. No, I'm too tired.
Well, you can do it tomorrow.
I'm going to see Thunder. I haven't seen him in 2 days.
Bring Thunder. We can fit him here.
A 1,400-pound animal, right? Steph,
I don't know how he will get up the stairs, but he can try.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Steph, you are the only one who's getting emails at your email address, or do you have other email? I have my email address, but if everybody emails me, I think I'm about to freak. I'm so overloaded now. Thank you, Carnivore Yogi. She sent over a lot of people, and my course page, I have a keto course page where you can lease keto omnivore, keto carnivore, or low carb, high fat. Get rid of that ugly black background. Ew, so ugly. Thank you, Hannah Chow. Why don't you use a multi cookie? Because somebody recommended it. Friggin' Ninja, I bought it, and I haven't gotten into any other stuff. I literally haven't even had time to wipe my butt. How many hands is Thunder? He's almost 17 hands. He's like 16 and a half. Cutting my meat, but he's big. He's not just tall like a thoroughbred. He's like big in the chest, big in the butt. His chest, butt, and belly is huge. He's a Tennessee Walker. His neck is so long. So cutting my meat, I think I eat too much meat. Everybody does. That's why your blood sugar's crazy.
Unfortunately, grilled onions are not.
No. Can't wait to watch the replay tomorrow. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, everyone, for joining this live stream with Dr. Berg. I am trying to change. I don't like to war with people in my personal life, with my Greek guy bestie, with the horse people, with friends. My mom. I'm just a feisty mother sucker who's got a big heart. I'm hard on the outside and I'm soft on the inside.
Anyway. I think that was
tired
it.
Too, huh?
Yeah, like really, and hot.
I know.
So
he's like, I want to turn on the air so I can put on all the closing. It's hot today in LA, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Hot today.
Well,
You know what I want to do? I want to put a Patreon together for Thunder. Not for me. Not for me, you guys. Not for me. For my horse.
and I think I can make it tonight.
Really? We sit down for a minute.
Let me
Thank you, Gina.
research the Patreon site.
We can look at it real quick just now. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This is the Greek guy. Today we did an interview with Dr. Berg. Don't forget to watch the replay.
Namaste.
For people who've just come to me, hit the subscribe button. Wait, make sure your subscription thing button is turned on and hit the notification bell. My very humble, you guys, I've been on the internet as long as Dr. Berg, which has been like 10, 11 years. And people couldn't find me and didn't realize I exist. And I just don't like to be fake and tell you a bunch of stuff. And unfortunately, I have to do more selling to stay up here and stay current. So don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Erica Jones. Thank you. And Erica, I saw your email. Erica's like, will you do it a barter? And she's like, yes, do a Patreon. Okay. So Erica, I will just give me a minute, because like, as you know, my head's going to explode right now. Like I have a headache. I'm tired of going 100 miles an hour.
And we will catch it in live.
And we'll figure out a time to, Erica, talk to each other on the phone, and we'll work something out. Just be very patient with me. Oops.
Oh shit.
This stool is high because I'm
almost
so short.
Exploded.
I know.
Almost.
I'm so short. All right, guys. Thank you so much for those who just found me through Dr. Berg. And like I said before, I have an Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I'm not going to, it has more minerals in it. That's why Himalayan salt. And it's the ultimate salt, or you can mix all three. Or you can go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook is Stephanie the Business Person. It's all right here. You put it in black, or go to my website to get on the course page. It's only $15 a month. It doesn't cost much, but I work my ass off. Trust me. I worked all morning before I came to the gym and then here on organ meats and all the nutrients. Or you can go and book a consultation with me directly, where I'm acting like a normal person and not like I act here.
Like a diva.
Like a not diva. I'm a tomboy. Tomboys aren't divas.
Back at her.
I'm a tomboy.
Yes.
Yes.
I love you. Do you know that?
I love you too. Okay, guys. Thank you. Chicken hearts have more iron than liver. They do. I forgot to say that. I'll go live again. I go live every Wednesday, you guys. So stay tuned.
Every Wednesday at around 3:30 to 4 o'clock.
Los Angeles time.
Los Angeles time.
We go live every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And new guests. And
For sure.
We're going to release Ken Berry's video too, right?
It's already up. It needs to be tagged and described and put it into the public for a review.
Oh, yes. And I'm going to do intermittent fasting destroyed my body. I hope Dr. Berg still invites me to his thing in August, because we're going to do a live series of intermittent fasting destroying people's bodies to prove that I'm not pulling stuff out of my butthole. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I need to go home and eat and take a shower, and we need to put my Patreon together. And I'm out. Bye, guys!
Energy. Bye!